You the one told me to start.
Look, and just sitting there.
Yeah. Got all the time in the world.
Sure thinking that wasn't. Anybody got a regular lighter? He got one.
I brought you all tea. Please forgive me for being so late. I was trying to wrap around it.
We finna get started.
Okay, darling.
Yeah. You gonna do it over there because we're gonna get started. Yeah, go ahead.
I ain't got my choice.
Oh, you ain't got it? Somebody got it. Ain't nothing plugged in on the side? Nah.
Oh, I can put it on here. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, take it back there, Mom, if you will. Yeah. Yeah, it's lit. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, my sir. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath. As we get about our Abba's business, y'all, we ain't gonna delay. My mic ain't on, is it? Check one. Check one. As we get about our Abba's business, y'all, so we're gonna turn toward Holy Jerusalem, wherever you may be on this planet.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna get this lesson going forward. Let's enjoy this feast today.
let me get mine on. All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer, and it is with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 28th chapter, it reads,
Read.
Unto thee will I cry, O Yahweh, my rock.
Yes, sir.
Be not silent to me, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward thy holy oracle.
Yes, sir.
Draw me not away with the wicked, and with the workers of iniquity, which do speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts.
Yes, sir.
Give them according to their deeds, and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert. Because they regard not the works of the Most High, nor the operation of His hands. He shall destroy them and not build them up. Blessed be the Most High, because He hath heard the voice of my supplication.
Yes, sir.
The Most High is my strength and my shield.
Yes.
My heart trusted in Him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. The Most High is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointing. Save thy people, and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also, and lift them up forever. Hallelujah! Say that!
Yes, sir.
Boy,
Outstanding, bro.
Ooh, boy, damn, you sweating right there.
Boy, got you sweating.
I'm a fan.
Yes, sir. Once again, peaceful Sabbath to everyone, both near and far. And today's lesson, the punishment of Cain. And once again, throughout these writings, you may see individuals' life or death. And it may seem or appear that there may be contradictions in the writings of the scriptures. But once again, there's no contradictions in the Bible. Contradiction meaning truth and lie together. The Bible don't deal with that. It separates the two. Judgment is separated from the two. So y'all, we don't want to get it mixed up that whenever you hear somebody say contradiction, you have to explain to them that when you're saying the Bible is contradicting itself, you're saying there's truth and lies. And that will void out judgment day. So y'all, we want to be clear on that. Condolences, not condolences, I should say, our well wishes or prayers of comfort for our sick and shut in. You know, always our brother in the homeland, Akda. Emo Yisraela, Emo Naomi, also the house of Uriah, the house of Elisha as well, to our niece Alexis, who's doing wonderful in her recovery. And also to the house of Israel, his wife, Yaretha, got a little bit under the weather yesterday, a little bit, y'all, and they had to get on over to the hospital. So just praying for that sister that there's a speedy recovery for. Also, y'all, Ariel, your cousin, Brother Darrell. Yeah, same thing. Yep. Short of breath, y'all. And that's a lot of that's going on with whatever's in the air out here. Mm-hmm. You know, but like we always said, you can get 4 seasons in a week in St. Louis. Now, it was wind chill below 0 a couple days ago, but tomorrow and the rest of the week gonna be 60 degrees. Yes, sir. It's still wintertime, y'all. Right. Don't you go out there in springtime and summer clothes.
Put some shorts on more if you want to.
Yes, sir. You'd be punished for it. And also, y'all, pray for the table, y'all, that we get some relief, y'all. The devil is hard at work. Yeah. He on us. What you saying, bro? Yes, sir. And also, y'all, to our family that continue to support the ministry and the radio station, just want to send shouts out to Ron and Betty Lemons, that Aguido Young, also that our DH 3D Light, and K-Man, the true Israelite. Shouts out to you, bro. As well as Stacy Lewis, our sister Stacy Young, as well as that Eric Cole, Aminadab Israel, and Ada and Torsha Robinson. Shouts out to y'all, and just shouts out to the family all together. What you got back there, sister?
Todd Shepherd.
Oh, no doubt, Todd Shepherd as well,
And my grandchildren.
who's in the belly of the beast, and also to Sister Karen's grandchildren, to all our grandchildren, y'all. They need that protection of what's out here, y'all. It's a lot of arrows being pointed toward them. Mm-hmm. And they mean to take them down. If the devil can't get at us, he sure will try to go at your children.
Then he might get you. Then he might get you.
And so, and your great grand, he don't care. He say, I got time. I've been around a long time. So y'all, with that, today's lesson, the punishment of Cain. And like I say, Jubilees tell of a different death for Cain, as well as the book of Jasher. Once again, Genesis does not, or the Bible does not mention the death of Cain right out. Also, the Antiquity of the Jews, Josephus, We're going to get into a little book 1 of that as well that will explain this, and what we'll see that there is no contradiction. It's just biblical language. Biblical language defines what it's talking about in its own writings. So it's without personal interpretation. If you read it like how the Bible write it, we can never come to our own understanding. And if it's too hard for you to understand, if it's being mentioned in a spiritual sense, he said, I'll break it down for you earthly. Like he always did the disciples. When they asked him privately, didn't ask him in front of everybody, what did you really mean by that parable? And he used to say, oh, you two without understanding, I'm walking with y'all.
Right.
But he never did say, y'all stupid or y'all dumb. He said, this is the breakdown of it. Mm-hmm. When a man do this, this is the results. And they're like, okay, we got it clearly. So y'all, that's what we have to be as being third in the administration of Christ. First apostles, then prophets, thirdly teachers. So y'all, we have to teach according to the rules laid out to ensure that our teachings don't turn into a private interpretation, but for the interpretation of the Most High, his law, statutes, and judgment, because that's what will rule every matter. If we play by the rules, you'll always understand there's no contradiction. There's no contradiction in law of the Most High. So y'all, with that, we want to go ahead and get started, but before we do, we got any questions or concerns? Okay, so y'all, the punishment of Cain, we kind of understand that generally what happened. He killed his brother Abel and he got run off. Right. Jubilees say a house fell on him, some stones, and that caused his death. Jasher say he was shot with an arrow by his great-grandson. Jasher leans toward that. Jubilees lean toward that. But all of them lean toward the same event. And the same happening is just if you understand, Shalom OG, if you understand Bible language, it's going to express itself. It's going to tell you the results of what happened with an issue with multiple witnesses of the law. Y'all can't nothing go forth unless it's proven by what?
2 to 3 witnesses.
2 to 3 witnesses. Shalom, Steve. So y'all, we're going to go ahead and get at it. The punishment of Cain, and y'all know how we get down. We believe in the one and only high priest after the order of Melchizedek, Yahushua HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. Yeah. He brings forth the law to every male, female, rich and poor, free and bond, Jew or Gentile. So y'all, before we get started, we're going to look up a couple definitions, but we want to just get right into Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Just want to go right there. We're going to leapfrog just a little bit. I just want to get right into Genesis, 4th chapter of the death of Cain, or what Cain did. And we're going to get some understanding because the Most High starts always with the intent. He don't judge after the matter. Everything starts from what you were thinking when this took place. When he say he go back to the beginning, that's exactly what he means. Mm-hmm. He goes all the way back to your thought process at the beginning. That way we're sure to get the right answer. So y'all, let's go ahead and get it.
Before we get started,
yes, sir.
I just wanted to share with the class. I talked to Daniel like last week about this matter, but
yeah,
my plates are about to be out on my truck. Mm-hmm. And you know, with your check engine light on, they won't pass you through emissions.
Right.
So I took my truck a month early in to see what the check engine light was about, so I would know about how much bread I need to come up with. And it was throwing 3 codes, well, 2 on the catalytic converters and 1 on the fuel inlet valve.
Yeah.
The fuel inlet valve was 700, they was telling me. The catalytic converters are 1,000 apiece.
What?
And then my front right wheel speed sensor, which I don't care how fast it's going anyway.
Right.
They want 550 for that. So they over like 3,300, somewhere about there.
To pass emission.
To pass emission.
Oh boy, that's outrageous.
But now then, my oil change light popped on, so you got 5 more miles, you got to change it. I changed my oil, then it got cold, and my truck wouldn't start.
Oh boy.
So I had to jump my truck, and then I knew it was going to get colder last week, So I said, shoot, before I have to do this in the cold,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy me another battery.
Right.
So they had a $100 battery, a $200 battery, and a $168 battery.
Yes, sir. Your car
So I
got
said-
COVID.
Yeah, I said, give me that cheap battery right there.
Right.
For right now, because all I wanted to do is start while it's cold.
Right.
So I changed my battery out, and my check engine light went off.
No, boy, don't tell me that.
I was praying, man.
Well,
I
look.
was trying to see how I'm gonna come up with that money.
Yeah.
And the Most High said, hold
Right
on,
on
slow
time.
up.
Yes,
He
sir.
said, I got this, yeah.
Right
I was
All the
gonna tell
lights
you.
went off.
I was gonna tell you. I've been riding on expired plates almost 2 years now.
But look, just from that, y'all, we see how
Trying to come up with 3
how
grand.
the way these cars are made today, y'all, the battery plays such an important part because, hold on, sis, I'm gonna get you. The battery controls things when the car ain't running.
Yep.
So some things have to stay active. You know, the clocks have to stay active and different things. Wintertime, test your battery. You can get away in the summer
Right.
because it's warm, but when those temperatures drop, that's why they have CCA on there, meaning cold cranking amps. You got to have, when it get cold, the amps to turn that engine over.
Yep.
Well, when the battery is getting older, it sounds like yours was probably way past its warranty mark. How old was that battery?
2 years old.
And was it
It was a 2-year warranty.
Oh, 2-year warranty.
So
So
it
you
turned
got what
to
you
it
paid
back.
for.
Yeah, that's why I said give me the $100 one. this time.
Yeah. So y'all, this what happens though. When you change that out, you realize that a low battery ain't always a bad alternator these days with this technology. So once he got that straight, that turned everything off. All you need to do is put 25 miles on it now.
Yeah, I did that. That's
Oh,
all
well,
I
you
had.
good.
So all I need to do is
Yes,
just go
sir.
ahead and buy my plates now.
But it won't never show a code of a battery. Go ahead. What you got, sis?
Brother, behind the scenes, it's the devil trying to overwhelm you with everything that God has blessed you with to do
Yeah.
what he called you to do,
Yeah.
which is the works of your hands. And God takes even the small thing and what the devil tries to make overwhelming and make it like a hand caught in a hurricane.
Oh, that's
And
that's
let
pretty
it be
rough.
something small because he called you to move forward, and the devil is trying to put a stumbling block in your path, but
Yeah.
you can't do it because God makes a way.
Yeah.
But it seems like it ain't
I know
no
it.
way.
And what we're talking about is patience.
Right.
See, patience, yeah, he say always be patient. And what happened is he's just walking it down, and the patience, it's like you trying to work on something on the car, and you just can't get it. Hold it down, sis. Hold it down, sis. I understand what you're saying. But you cannot, if you can't figure it out, that's why people say, I'm going to sleep on it. When you sleep, your mind rests.
Right.
And different things, and you just went to what was easy. Let me just change the battery.
Yeah, but it was
Which
not a
is
necessity.
controlling everything
Yeah.
to start. Right, but that's what he said through your patience. He just showed you, you ain't gonna spend that.
Right.
You gonna spend this. And that's gonna fix all of that, because what you're telling me to the average mechanic, that's too much to go out at one time.
That's what I told him.
It's way too much. You just don't get that at one time unless something is causing that. So y'all, we're in like manner, we're like a car. Our check engine light will come on. And the only way we can turn it off is according to the instructions.
Yep.
So y'all just want to say the Most High is always there, because the devil will get in your pocket, and I mean he will get in your pocket. That's why he say the love of money is the root of all evil, not money, because the script say money is a defense. You know, that's the only way, and it says money, bring it, lift it up a bowed down head, and then answer it all things except salvation. Because if the rich could buy everlasting life, we would be out of luck.
Right.
We would be totally gone. But the rich died like the poor man.
That's right.
Hitting that dirt, turning back to ash, like he was formed. So y'all, we're going to go ahead and get it. Too bad you look like you had something.
Yeah, I got a question right here.
Yeah.
My brother in the chat here, Tobiah Ben Yehuda, he asked, question, what made Cain's presentation to the Most High unacceptable?
We're getting into all of that. Good question, because it's technically on the class. We're going to go over all of that today. We're going to hit it where it needs to be hit, and we're going to get some understanding from Bible language. And what I mean by Bible language, it will say one thing and it could mean 10,000, but whatever it means, it says if you look at it for the subject matter that's happening, then it'll pertain to that subject matter. If you're talking about tree, which one is it talking about? Trees of righteousness, or it's talking about a literal fruit tree?
Right.
So you have to, when you go to your second witness, it has to line up, and that way it takes personal interpretation off the table. It takes anybody off the table to say they're wiser than anybody else, because you're not wiser than the law.
Right.
Let's understand those things. So y'all, we're going to get right at it. And what we're going to do is just start in Genesis 4th chapter, because Genesis does not mention the death of Cain. It mentions the punishment. So within the punishment, there's a death sentence mentioned in there. So that's what we have to do, is start to chop down through the punishment according to the law. We can't give it our own understanding and say, or get sidetracked. And like I say, this question came up from our niece, Sister Marie Israel. She said, Uncle, I'm seeing these two different things. I say, it's too much for me to type. It's more than one sentence. It ain't happening that way. But I want you to read Genesis 4, and then we'll pick it up from there. So just want to start there and pick it up from Genesis 4. And then we'll get into this, y'all, the other books that we use that must keep the law. Go ahead, bro. Who got it?
I'm going to start out here.
Go ahead, bro.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put your mouth in it.
Yeah.
Put
Go
it
ahead.
in your mouth.
Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
So this is a different kind of no. Did he say, hey, are you Eve? I'm Adam. Did he know her that way? Okay, no.
What's your name?
Yeah, we see conception in here, so we know that was a different no. And according to the language, wherever you see K-N-E-W, it means intercourse between man and woman. Right. See, if we lean to our own interpretation, we could make that say, oh, she knew that like them purple boys, you know, that try to say when Mary said, I have not known a man, they say, oh, that meant that it was an arranged marriage. Yeah. So she didn't know who Joseph was. Right. You ain't read that in no book on this earth unless you got it from them Khazars and out of the Kabbalah or Talmud. That's the only book which state that. Right. Because that's the only book against the Messiah. Mary knew exactly what she's saying. A woman know if she's truly saying, I ain't been with no man. Mm-hmm. That's clear, ain't it?
But if she don't know who Joseph is, that means Joseph ain't.
And they fathers ain't got together, mother ain't got together. But see, they're counting on you not knowing the marriage rules and laws. Right. A dowry have to be paid. How you married and ain't no dowry being paid yet? Let's get some more.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
So a lot of times we think that Cain and Abel were twins. Mm-hmm. But actually, Cain was 2 years older than Abel. It's just said, and again. Right. We're in Genesis, so Jubilees is called Little Genesis. So it's running in a couple of years that, and again, 2 years later, Abel would say, well, I don't see that right there. Well, we're going to get to it so you can see it. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought up the fruit of the ground of an offering unto the Lord.
So look here, y'all. So we starting off, when you make an offering to the Lord, there has to be an altar, some form of altar, that you provide that offering so that God will receive it. Mm-hmm. So we see starting off that he understands that there's requirements of the Most High to give of your first fruit, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying? So he knows the process. It's like wearing your fringes and don't know why you got them on. Right. So or you decide to wear them how you want to wear them. Well, I want to wear them off my shirt pocket. It don't say exactly you got to wear them around the end. Yes, it do. But, you know, so we keep from people going that route or ourselves. We'll continue to read. Go ahead.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
and Abel, and he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
That's right.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
So we see right here the Most High say, what is that you offering up to me? And when we talk about respect, is to honor.
Right.
He said, I can't honor that. Let's read some more.
Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? So the Most High is asking what you don't like, what I said, the instructions I gave you.
Right.
You know, so basically this is what you telling me. You mad because I won't let you do what you want to do. I won't let you offer to me what you want to offer to me.
Right.
So that's where your problem is. This is what you mad about. You ain't angry technically at the situation. You technically angry as God commands. What he commands. He said, if I ask you for this, if I ask you for a brown shoe, don't give me a black shoe. I don't care because they shoes. I said brown ones. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is where he said, I'd rather have obedience more than what?
Sacrifice.
See, this is a sacrifice without obedience. Right. Let's get some more.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
If thou doest well.
If thou do what?
Well. Shall thou not be accepted? And if thou dost not well, sin lies at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So he's basically saying, if you do wrong, sin gonna be at the door, and it's gonna rule over you.
Right.
Because you won't accept right, or you run from chastisement. You know, and then you get angry about it. I'm talking about Cain's face was tore up. It say he was wroth and his countenance fell.
Right.
So there was no cheerfulness in it.
No.
It's like you see somebody, you're like, man, what's wrong?
Right. Is it that bad?
Is it that bad? And then they scowling too, like they've been sucking on lemons. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field.
Where were they at?
The field.
Y'all remember that. Go ahead.
That Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
How do you rise up against someone? See, there's many forms of rising up against somebody. Moses up getting commandments and the children was down at the bottom of the mountain and they rose up to play.
Right.
What does that mean, rise up? So we will have to use the Bible language when it's concerning that. What happened to Abel? If we didn't have the other records, then that would lend to us to try to do it out of our own mind. But the Bible has two witnesses for everything. You just have to search diligently. Right. And the answer will come. Let's get some more.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Now you have these naysayers, these one-liners that look and say, if God knows everything, how he didn't know where Abel was? You missing the whole point. Is you're reading this from your understanding. The Most High knows everything, but he has to question you like your parents do. What's up, DJ? What you talking about? Yeah. So the Most High questions you, and your parents do the same thing. They ask you. I already know what the deal is.
I want to see what
you know,
gonna
right?
say.
You know, see if you're gonna tell me a lie. And then they'll tell you, if you tell me the truth, I still may not whoop you, or I might whoop you, even if you tell me the truth.
And you still lie.
Because you still broke my law, so it requires punishment. The truth just means you acknowledging that I broke your law.
Right.
That's what truth does, but it still comes with a punishment. You know, it's like, well, I shouldn't have said nothing. I would have got a whooping. You were going to get a whooping. It's called consciousness. It was going to whoop you.
It was whooping you. That's why you lying.
That's why you lying. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
No, verse 10. I'm sorry. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground.
So the Most High know. He said, I know what the deal is. He asked him, what did you do? Because I hear blood crying from your brother. So I know it's concerning this.
Right.
Why your countenance didn't fail. But he wants him to come clean. Go ahead, bro.
And now art thou cursed from the ground, which hath...
Hold on, read that again.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Right.
And thou, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
So now here's the punishment. When thou, it said, because the earth swallowed his blood, because you killed him out in the field where plants or your crops are, and where your cattle are. That's where you killed him at. So where you put this death at, and blood was spilled in the ground, from that, then that means whatever you put your hand to, whatever you plant, it ain't gonna come up right. It's gonna come up like the offering you tried to give me. And what Cain tried to offer was just some old rotten fruit, or whatever he decided, I give this to the Lord. Hell, I'm giving him something.
Hey, Daniel, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's right here in Joshua 1:16, and it says, and unto Cain and his offering the Lord did not turn, and he did not incline to it, for he had bought from the inferior fruit of the ground before the Lord.
Yeah, we're going to that, all of that, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. We're going to get it too, the spirit on you. I know you want to get it in. We're going to get to it. Yes, sir. And see, the Bible going to explain everything like Tubai was going, but we got him on the list of why he says and what he does. That keep you from doing like this. Well, Ariel, what I feel here, the Lord is trying to say.
We don't do your fears.
Zebediah.
We don't do your fears.
Okay, yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. So no philosophy when it comes to the Bible. Let's get some more.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
So let's get this understood. His punishment's supposed to be death according to the law. You kill your brother, you're going to be put to death.
That's right.
But he's looking at his punishment. Why did I do what I did?
Right.
My punishment is too much for me. You ain't putting me to death, but you technically gave me the death penalty. You gave me life without parole.
Right. Right.
That's pretty harsh. I mean, kill me, wouldn't that be better? But life without parole, Lord? And let's see how the Lord answers him, because he wants conversation between you. Go ahead.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth. And from thy face shall I be hid.
Right.
And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
He said, because of the punishment of being a fugitive and a vagabond, that means whoever find out I'm here, they're going to kill me when they hear about what I do. Well, the problem is people bring in now their own thought process. Well, there had to be more people on the earth for him to be worried about that. And we don't know, ain't got no lineage for these people that he gonna run into. Then that would be a problem too, because Adam was given rule over entire earth, and it should have been rule over who these other people would be that said, if I find Cain, we're gonna kill him. According to what if these other people find him? It'd have to be the law of God that he would be worried about somebody gonna put him to death for this punishment. So we need to know who this other group of people is that has the law of the Most High. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So let's read a little bit more.
And the futures in the vagabond. You want them definitions here?
Yeah. Hold on.
I had to go to the deepest part of the lake, though.
Oh yeah, you went did a little fishing. Okay, y'all. So y'all come on in, y'all. Look, y'all. If y'all need script, we got a couple back there. But if y'all got them smartphones, just get on your smartphone and just type in where we're at. We're in Genesis, the 4th chapter, and we're going over the punishment of Cain, because some people think that the Bible or the other books is contradicting themselves, which the Bible never contradicts itself. Contradiction means truth and a lie. If it had truth and a lie, it would not have holy on the front. Holy means set apart. That means set apart from lies and dispute. So y'all, we're in Genesis 4th chapter, and where we at that? Verse what? Verse 13. Read that again for me, Nat.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
So this punishment is so bad, a fugitive and a vagabond, that whoever sees you, they want to kill you. First off, they have to know what crime you done committed. First off, if they just see you. But to understand what a fugitive and a vagabond is, we're going to go to the definition so we get some understanding, y'all. If we don't have understanding, we can't move forward. If we stop at this script and then we guess, well, what is a fugitive? See, because some of us was born in the deep south like Mississippi, we always looked at parents who tell you ain't gonna be nothing but a bag of bums. B-A-G-O-B-U-M. Bag of bums. You ain't gonna be nothing but a bag of bums. So I always thought that it was some hobos in a laundry sack and then they all just jumped out at the same time. A bag of bums. But that was just down south. It should have been vagabond. Right. How did we get to vagabonds? Bag of bones. Let's get some more. It's like I'm fixing to is turned into what? Finna. F-I-N-N-A. How did fixing to get switched to that? Go ahead, bro. Tell me what a fugitive and vagabond is.
Fugitive. We got the adjective definition is running away or intending flight.
Running away or intending flight. That's fugitive. You on the run. Right. Go ahead.
But as a noun, it's a person who flees or tries to escape, such as a person who flees a country or location to escape danger, such as war or persecution.
So there's a positive.
A refugee.
Yeah, a refugee, positive and negative side on this, is a fugitive. Cain says punishment, so it's the part of of pro, so to speak. You're getting this because of something you did wrong. You're not running to another land because you did something wrong. It may be we had to flee Canaan and go down to Egypt because there wasn't no more food on earth. Egypt had all the food. So you would become a fugitive in Egypt, just like Trump running everybody out that come here. Them fugitives that's coming here, they coming here because ain't no food in their land. But guess what? You can't tell which ones are the criminals. And that's what they trying to throw back out, the criminals. So go ahead.
Vagabond.
Okay. What you talking about, DJ?
Yeah. Vagabond, a person who wanders from place to place without a fixed home, one leading a vagabond life, especially a tramp or a vagrant.
Read that again, y'all, because this gonna express it. Read this again. Y'all listen up.
A person who wanders from place to place without a fixed home, one leading a vagabond life, especially a vagrant or a tramp.
See, so we thought that meant vagabond, because they mentioned tramp, So y'all, we see here, he say this punishment is wandering the earth. When people wonder why you do, look, you commit a crime in here and you got to go on the run, you become a fugitive and a vagabond. I don't care, it could be a knock at the door, it could be they on your head. You're seeing signs, America Most Wanted. And you hiding in Big Mama's basement. Here a knock at the door. First thing you do is jump under a pile of dirty clothes. You know what's in them dirty clothes? Could be underwear in there from mowing grass and you hiding up under there. Could be towels from showers and you hiding up under there.
And Granddaddy got the
Oh, boy, look here. All of that in them dirty clothes, but you figure I can hide under here and the police won't look here. Right. We know he ain't under that pile of dirty clothes because he gonna be dead if he can, because we can smell him from here. Go ahead, bro.
All right, Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, Therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
How many times?
Sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
So right here, the Most High say, I'll put a mark on you while you're running from city to city. Unless any man find me, he should kill him. So what is the mark? Was it something physical to say, I'm a murderer of my brother, you can't kill me? What is the mark?
It's in your countenance.
Yeah, it's right. It's in the mark he put on you is in your consciousness. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So that's the mark because your conscience showed what's going on. Right. If somebody come over your house and they say, man, I done did something, like I say, every knock at the door, that's their consciousness riding them. Is it them coming for me? Them peoples, is that them? Man, that's my next door neighbor, man, bringing the hot sauce back. Damn, what you so upset about? Nothing, man. I'm just, you can't trust nobody. No, it look like you ain't trusting yourself.
Right.
And that mark is on you. So the Most High never ever, when he does anything, whether righteous or not, he don't put physical marks on us. The only physical mark he ever put on us was for a man when he reaches 8 days old or a young child to be circumcised. But guess where that mark is at? In your drawers. So it's not publicly seen. Because he don't want you to see that openly. You know why? Because you have to circumcise your heart first before your flesh gets circumcised. That's technically the order. Abraham was 99 before he got circumcised in the flesh. But his heart was circumcised. It means it understood what needed to take place. And your heart really means your mind. So that's what was circumcised first. You can get it in the flesh and go off and rob a bank. It ain't about the flesh. Markings in the flesh mean you may put this holy word on display and you got his mark on him and you doing this dirty work. That's disrespectful to our Father. So he would never mark you like that. How he marks us is with obedience or disobedience. That's how the mark is, because that's what people will see. If they see you doing right, they're going to say, you must be of God because you're doing right. There's got to be, you're a godly man. There's something going on here. You ain't got to profess nothing. You ain't got to be dressed with nothing. It's what comes out of a man that defiles him. And it's what comes out of a man that approves him. So lies come out of you. It's not what you put in. It ain't just down to eating pork or eating shrimp. It's what you take in. If you take righteous doctrine in, what comes out of you is righteous doctrine. You take BS doctrine in, that's what's going to come out of you. It's okay to sin. Hell, man, everybody sin. See, if that comes out of you, then that's a problem because you're teaching you don't have to repent. Everybody else is doing it. They ain't repenting. So what comes out of you force you to defile the scriptures because it's with your mouth that you can teach law breaking. You can teach disobedience. It ain't so much to you shouldn't eat that. Get out of here with that. Tell me why I shouldn't eat it. And the law is going to tell you why you can't eat it. Not because you think it may mean this. Because if you think I ain't supposed to eat swine, then that means everything else. I can't wear a swine jacket. I can't play football. It's made out of pig skin, but it ain't never said that. It said you cannot eat it for food, but you can use it for clothes. So don't throw away them pig skin boots. Don't throw away that pig skin belt. If you look at it like it's equal to eating it, then you're looking at it dead wrong. You know why? Because badger skin covers the Ark of the Covenant. That thing right there that we showing. Badger skin. Badgers are from the weasel family. What is it doing covering the thing that has the 10 Commandments in it? You can't eat it, but it's waterproof. It's lightning proof. It's damage proof. So anything happen to it, the ark is protected by waterproof. Ezekiel 16, he put us in badger skin shoes when he dressed us up. Waterproof shoes. They was the Timberlands back in the day. You understand?
You can eat it.
So go ahead. Where you at, bro?
Verse 16, you want me to keep going with that? Or?
Yeah, we're going to finish this on out because it's something very important. It's because the Bible never says how Cain got killed. It just says that he says punishment was too great, and whoever killed him will be punished 7 times. However you kill Cain, you're going to get it 7 times, because that's what he said. Tell everybody, if you put your hands on Cain, you're going to get it 7-fold. Whoever kills Cain going to get it back 7 times. So now we have to look at in the Bible that why he hands out 7 times for an individual that murdered his brother. See, to us that don't seem fair. To us it'd be, why we gonna wait till somebody else and let them, Cain did the crime, why they get that? They ought to be able to kill him. Vengeance is the Lord.
That's right.
Because if we start doing that without no trial, we're gonna kill everybody. Let's get some more.
Verse 16.
Yes, sir.
And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Noah, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begot Mehujael.
Right.
And Mehujael begot Methuselah.
Yeah.
And Methuselah begot Lamech.
So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing lineage of people. If there's another group of people on earth at this time, if you think that's who Cain went out to, then their lineage has to be found. We cannot, according to the Bible, deal with what's called endless genealogies. If you don't know no beginning or ending of this people, quit talking about it until you can prove it according to the Bible. So we ain't getting no other lineage but Adam. He's called mankind. Everybody that came after him was after his kind, like a man. Every female came after Eve, womankind. See, what's happening now with this transgender is they trying to make it switch. Trump had to just tell wherever he was, the governor, if you don't abide by this law that no transgenders or men will play in women's sports, we ain't giving you no federal funding. None. Now go against this law that we putting out that you better not have men in women's sports. You know why? Because it's still unequal to the people that saying that's wrong. Because there's no women can get in men's sports.
Yeah, they ain't saying it about that.
Look, who you gonna suit up with who you gonna suit up as a running back, a woman, Bertha or Mary Lou? And you got Lawrence Taylor coming off the end. And he hand her the ball. You think that's going to be equal? I don't care how many hormones she quit taking and how deep her voice is. It don't matter. When he plant that helmet in her chest, they're going to say it's unfair. If a woman, I don't care if she looking like Rosie O'Donnell, she get in there with Iron Mike in her prime, it's going to be murder. See, it's unfair because women can't play men's sports. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So what they're trying to push is an unfair agenda. And all it is to weaken men down. Let's get some more.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah.
So we went through his lineage to tell you it got down to this son or this grandson of Cain, Lamech. So this where we at. We read all of the sons of Cain. First was Enoch 1, Arad 2, who the other? Methuselah 3, Lamech 4, and then so we now get into Lamech, how his life was. Go ahead. It's apparent that they wanted us to stop and start to look at Lamech. So out of all the sons, they say, we finna go into his personal life, so to speak. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because the other ones, we didn't hear about no marriages, did we? So let's get Shalom out. Go ahead. What it say?
Verse 20.
Yes.
And Ada bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents. And of such as have cattle. So
y'all see how Genesis already from the birth of Cain, we already into his grandson, great grandson establishing cattle. Right. See, this is talking about him, you know, his life, he's already alive at this point. Y'all understand? But we was just at Cain being born. See see that's why they call Jubilees little Genesis, because they're jumping in hundreds of years. Jubilees, if you read the book of Jubilees like you read Gregorian or the way things go regular, then you're going to miss it. Jubilees is counted in 50s. So you have to read it according to Jubilee language. You can't apply Jubilee language to Numbers, Deuteronomy, Malachi. You can't do that because it has its own way of calculating its time for the event happening. Do that make sense? Okay, let's get some more.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 21. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ.
So his brother was skillful in those things. Go ahead.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
So weapons of war, artificer, you know. Go ahead.
And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives.
So this is the first polygamist on earth also. This is the first man on earth with 2 wives, and it came from Cain's side of the family, not from Adam. Adam had the same wife for 960 years. And when they got on Noah's ark, each man had his own wife. So if it's 4 people on the ark, there was 4 women on the ark. And they tell you 8 people were saved. See, when you start to talk about this doctrine is part of this, it ain't never been a part of this. Not like that. There was rules that allowed a man to have more than 1 wife. And if you want to start at the beginning, who would start with? Polygamy. Who would start with? Y'all scared? Lamech. Cain's son, grandson. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
And Lamech said unto his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt.
So this is what he's telling his wife. I killed a man, and then I injured a young man to my hurt. What does that mean? See, we can try to figure out and try to guess what it means, but it's clear it's Bible language on his crime, what he feel he committed. Go ahead, let's read, but it's going to relate back to some, and he's 5 generations down. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But he's going to go back to the punishment of the Lord. What does it say in the next verse?
If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God, she said, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So right here, did this tell you Lamech killed Cain? Did it say that, or did he just say there was a punishment for whoever kills Cain? So if he's saying the punishment is on me, because that's what he's saying, why did he bring up the punishment 4 generations later? That if any man finding Cain, slay him. And we're talking about finding him. I'm not talking about him coming up on you. It's where they found him at. Where they find him at? In the field. Where he killed Abel at. In the field. But it still ain't just straight out telling you Lamech is saying he the one killed Cain. Right. Well, he's telling you if we keep up with the punishment, because he named it. Anybody killed Cain, their punishment is 7-fold. Right. This is what he's technically saying. He said, I'm getting the punishment 7 generations later. Right. Well, we're going to get into Jasher, so you're going to see why he didn't know it was him. Come on, y'all. What's going on? All right. Y'all cut through that. Don't cut through that camera. Yeah, yes, sir. Unless y'all trying to get some cameos, Wayne.
That's what it looked like. He was creeping behind us.
Look. Oh, okay. Wayne said, yeah, man, I'm going down. I'm going to walk across the camera. Y'all see? Yeah.
I'm going to have them bibs on.
Yeah, I'm going to have them bibs on, one buckle down. Let's get it.
All right, verse 26.
Yeah.
And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enoch. Then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. So right here in Genesis 4th chapter, we see Lamech, the grandson of Cain, talking about the punishment. And he telling his 2 wives, I was involved with that. See, we can, and somebody look and say, well, it don't say that to me. Well, if we look at the punishment, he's concerned about the punishment. Mm-hmm. So is it tying in that I killed my own granddad? Is this what it's saying to me? Because I'm talking about the punishment 4 generations down the line. So it ain't happened to Cain yet. It's happened right now. So is he telling
Genesis stops right there. It goes silent. Well, we got other writings according to, we read the Apocrypha, we read the complete book of the Apocrypha, and we read the book of Jasher. All of these are mentioned in the Bible. The only thing, if this breaks the law of God, this breaks Exodus 20. If this breaks Exodus 20, the 10 Commandments, if this breaks Exodus 20, we have to put them down and put them away because they broke the law. If the law is broken, where there's no law, there's no what?
No
sin. Right. So if the law is broken or the Bible is tampered with, it's impossible to have a judgment day. Most High cannot judge us if his Bible been tampered with. Because all we got to do is stand in judgment and, oh no, Lord, I thought I was on the right track before I died. I didn't know that chapter was tampered with. Come on, man. You right, my son, you figured it out, then you come on into the kingdom. No, it ain't going to be that. So you're going to bring in every secret thing, whether it be good or evil, and you're going to be judged. Yeah. And you ain't coming back multiple times. The Bible don't teach reincarnation. It says it's appointed for every man to die how many times? Once. And then the what? Judge. So you ain't coming back to get a third time to try to do it right. You better get it right now.
Can't get it right. While
you got breath in your body. Let's get some more. We're going to the next one, y'all. We just want to go there. Now we're going to go to, I'm going to get down to Jash. Let's go and do Jash, and then we're getting the law. And then the law will explain what happened, because we're going to see no, I'm saying we go Jubilees then, because that's the order we got it in, right? Let's go Jubilees chapter 4. For y'all that don't have these lost books, you can Google it with that smartphone. See, y'all have to understand that smartphone is like the tree of good and evil that was in the Garden of Eden. It'll tell you good things and it'll tell you bad things. Right. It'll show you good things and it'll show you bad things. It'll show you you can Google the Word of God, Scriptures. Right. You can also Google Big Black. Mm-hmm. And look around. And right. It'll show you those things you're looking for in there.
That's better than an encyclopedia.
Yes, sir. Because what you technically got is technically the tree of good and evil in your hand. That's why all Apple products have a bite out of the apple. Why do you think they took a bite out of the apple? Because most people think there was an apple Adam and Eve ate, but the word apple is not even in the 50 chapters of Genesis. Not one time is the word apple used. Hosea 10:13 tell us what they ate. They ate the fruit of lies. Like we had the fruits of the Spirit, gentleness, righteousness, long-suffering. They ate the fruit of lies. What did God tell you? Oh, no, he don't really mean that. He mean you can do whatever you want. You could be your own God. That's a lie. The devil started that, right. Not the Bible. Let's get some more, y'all. We're going to go right now to Jubilees chapter 4. Y'all look it up on that PDF. Do Jubilees, Jubilees 4 and just type in PDF, and it's going to come up on your smartphone. It should come up as sacred writings. And you should see it, y'all, because look, we have to read together. We have to stay together. See, because if anybody leave here and they have in that mind, no, man, them brothers at that table, man, no, man, they had special wisdom. You can't leave here thinking like that. You have to leave here and say they shared all of what they knew with me. So now, if I seem to catch on to this, I may could be sitting at that table too very shortly. But we cannot make ourselves above anybody because we are body.
I thought you had to fast for 4 days.
Oh, no, that's somebody made that up. Look, cut your baby finger off because you think it's the smallest on your hand and see where your grip go, and you're going to lose 50% of your grip because you may not look at this finger like you're looking at this one. The only reason this one has advantage because it can dig boogers better. But that's about it. Or say I'm number one. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You and the brothers on the panel. The only problem I'm having, man, is them 10 Commandments, man.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying.
Which one you can't do?
See, and that's all we ask. And when people say you can't do the law of God, we just ask you which one is a problem for you. And then we go over that one that you're saying you can't do because the Most High say his laws are not grievous. that means they're not hard. All you have to do is say, okay, I'll do it. Your mom and daddy laws weren't hard because look, when you know you broke it and they pull out that belt, if you holler okay before they even strike you one time, what does okay mean?
It mean I knew what you meant when I did it.
Look, okay, I understand now. I understand. Like, no, you don't understand. Get in that room.
We don't have to go there.
Yes, sir. And you experience what I did, Hot Wheel tracks.
Mama, you don't
I don't
have
know
to
what
do
they
that.
getting today. But when I came home and saw a piece of that track missing, I knew somebody was in trouble. It was either me or Nurse.
That's why I never asked for a Hot Wheel.
Yes, sir. Let's get it, y'all.
The book of Jubilee, chapter 4.
Yes, sir.
Verse 1.
Is everybody there? That's here. Do y'all have it?
1 or 21?
Yeah.
21 is what.
No, 4 and verse 21. Genesis chapter 4. Jubilees chapter 4, verse 21. Ain't that what we got?
Yep.
Okay, let's get it.
Not down there trying to create something.
Yeah. Is
He
it?
trying to throw your time.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do, ain't he? Yeah.
I was trying to score something you said. Alright, the book of Jubilee, chapter 4, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And he was moreover with the angels of God these 6 jubilees of years.
Okay, so we're talking about 6 jubilees of years. So a jubilee is 50, right? Mm-hmm. So 6 jubilees, so there'll be 6 times 50.
300.
So 300 years, this is stretching this out. See, this is why we're talking about jubilees. It's called Little Genesis. It's going to jump years. If you don't count it as jubilees, let me give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Zaya, when the last time you seen Ariel? If he say, man, I ain't seen Ariel in a month of Sundays, that don't mean 30 Sundays.
It means a month.
So what we're talking about, a month of Sundays.
Right.
How many Sundays do you have in a month?
4.
So you have 4 Sundays in a month. And I ain't seen him in 30 Sundays because we're talking about a whole month. A whole month. So, I'm sorry. So we would do 4 Sundays in a month, right? Mm-hmm. And a Sunday come every week, which is 7 days, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to multiply that day. 4 times 7 is what?
28.
And then since we saying I ain't seen him in a month of Sundays, so now you have to multiply that times 30. If it makes sense to y'all, what I'm saying is I ain't seen him in a month of Sundays. So a month is 30 days. A Sunday come every 7 weeks. 7 times 30 is what?
28.
Huh?
When you say 7 times 30, 210.
210. So a year is 52 months, right? 52 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how many weeks you get in a year, 52. So if I got 210 weeks, divide that by 4. Or how many 52s I can get, that'll tell you how many years I ain't saw Zay. If it's 210, then that means there's 4 years in there. Because 4 years, 4 times 52 will equal up to 208. So I got 2 months left over, however it goes. But what I'm saying is, technically what you're saying is, I ain't seen Zeb in 4 years and 2 months. If I ain't seen him in a month of Sundays, Sundays come every week. So 4 times 7 is 28. And then you do that times how long you say you ain't seen it. I know y'all is kind of going over your head a little bit. I'm going there because Jubilees is a count system. Every time we read the book of Jubilees, we have to think of it in 50. We can't think of it in 50 as a regular year like we do with a Gregorian calendar, like we do with our calendar that's out today, say 2025. Every time we look at that, it has to be 50 years. Or it has to be 50 weeks. Like I was talking about Social Security. It says you're not eligible until you're minimum 62 and you have 40 work weeks. Well, if you looked at it as weeks, that means you ain't even working 6 months. Or 8 months, because a year is 52 weeks. So if you got to have 40, then let's say you only work 10 months in your life. It's not saying that. Weeks are counted years. So they saying you can retire early at 62 and 40 work weeks, meaning 40 years. So you have to have 40 years that we tracking you that you've been working on this earth. And if you're 62, you can go out early. You don't have to wait till you're 70. But you got to meet these two early. Jubilees is the same way, yo. So when we get into Jubilees, if you're not thinking 50, and we're going to get into the law, yo. The law going to explain all this. I was just trying to do a little, what you call it, demonstration or example of a count. But go ahead.
Let's start at verse 21.
Yes, sir.
And he was moreover with the angels of God these 6 jubilees of years. And they showed him everything which is on earth and in the heavens.
So they showed him that in 6 jubilees. So 6 times 50 again is what?
300.
So he showed him everything in a moment's time of 300 years worth of things. That quick, and he's writing them down. You think you're going to have to write them down day by day, hour by hour? That one chapter will be this big in the Bible. Y'all understand? But it's saying count it from Jubilees because we're going to jump from the time that this baby was born as, his 3rd day of life, and then we're going to pick it back up when he graduating from college. That's how it does in Jubilees. It's telling you count 50 so you can keep up with when this happens. So then the Bible don't contradict itself. It's how you're reading the language. Jubilee means 50. And this going to be an easy one. After the Passover, you must have 7 complete Sabbaths, and then you do the Feast of Pentecost. So this, just for this year, just to get this out of the way, it just so happened the Passover falls on a Sabbath day. So from April the 12th till we go to April the 19th, that's 1 week. That's 7 days. Because you got to have 7 weeks. That's why it's called the Feast of what? Weeks. So, and then you count another 7. You say 2. And then you count another, you say 3. And then you say, and add 1. Because 7 times 7 is 49. You add 1, it makes it 50. So like our Passover will be on April the 12th. And if you add 7 complete Sabbaths, it's going to end up June, what we got, June 1st? Well, however it is, if you count 7 complete Sabbaths, it's going to be the first week of June. Because we do feast days according to how the moon sets and how our count tell us to count. We can't go by another calendar. We can't go by Jubilees calendar. We can go by Jubilees calendar as the count for Pentecost. But we can't use no other calendar or it's going to throw us off. If we go by the moon, we only going to get 36 days or you're going to go over and get 54 days. You have to count by Jubilee, so you do the Pentecost on the right day. If you count another way, if you count by moon cycles, you're going to go over or you're going to be under by 16 days. One or the other. It ain't going to work. But we're going to get to that. I know I'm putting a whole lot out there, y'all, but... yes, sir.
As far as the dates and all that, are we told to be perfect or is it a practice?
Well, it's a practice, but everything is without excuse because the moon and the sun will never break ranks. The seasons will never break rank. Animals will never disobey God's commandment. It's only when man get involved who won't keep God's commandment. But the sun and the moon go up every day. Have anybody alive in here ain't never seen the sun and the moon do what they're supposed to do since they've been alive? So that keeps us, in case we lose a phone or we lose a calendar, that tells us what day we're in if we on a desert island. We got stranded on an island. No technology. We don't know what day it is. Well, the sun and the moon tell us what day you're in. If you know you got on that island on June the 5th, if you see, you do your thumb like this and the curve is this way, then you know you're at the beginning of the month. Because every full moon is the 15th day of the month. So if your thumb is like this and you see a little sliver, you say, I'm on this side of the moon. Right. So I'm at the beginning of the month. When it gets full, then it switches and the curve is this way. And you can say, oh, okay, I'm on this side of the month. And it's going to get smaller, and it's going to get smaller, and it's going to get smaller, and then it's going to go black. And you're going to say, that's the new moon, because then it starts over again. The little sliver comes, that little piece of moon. Yeah. And y'all, this is what we got to understand. This is why on every calendar you see those little moon symbols we never thought what they mean. That's counting from the moon, so we keep our feast days. So it's the Most High say, I'm not going to put y'all nowhere where y'all can't keep up with me. If y'all technology go away, the sun and the moon ain't going to never go away. You're going to be able to count. So that we can't say, Lord, I was in the jungle and I couldn't keep up. No, you just weren't keeping up with the time system. Because they didn't have clocks and watches 3,000 years ago, did they? No. Let's get some more.
And you know Uriah and Hananiah are watching you with that thumb.
With the, yeah. Uriah's an expert on those moon cycles. Yeah. But if y'all look at a calendar, anybody got a calendar, you'll see those little moon symbols on there. That's telling you how to keep up, because the regular calendar and the moon may be on different days. If it say the 20th and 5th day of Kislev, which is in the wintertime, that may be our December the 11th, not December the 25th. But I ain't gonna get too technical on this, y'all. We're gonna keep reading. Where you at, Nat?
Still in verse 21.
Okay.
It says.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm gonna start it from the top.
Yes, sir.
And he was moreover with the angel of God these 6 jubilees of years, and they showed him everything which is on earth and in the heavens, the rule of the sun.
The rule of the what?
Of the sun.
Uh-huh.
And he wrote down everything.
So the sun has laws it keeps. It knows to rise in the east and set in the west. Mm-hmm. It's going to do this 364 days a year. It's going to do it. It ain't going to never break ranks. The moon only does 360 days a year, and that's if every month is 30 days, but it's not. Some months drop back to 29 and 28. So you can't look at the moon to keep your week. You have to look at the sun, what keeps it steady every week, so your Sabbath never change. If you go with the moon, your Sabbath may be Wednesday this week. It may be Thursday next week. So what you going to do about your job then? I need the Sabbath off. Well, he won't be here. It's Tuesday, it's Sabbath. If you go off the moon cycle. But go ahead, Nat. Read some up.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
And he testified to the watchers who had sinned with the daughters of men, for these had begun to unite themselves so as to be defiled with the daughters of men. And Enoch testified against them all. Okay. And he was taken from amongst the children of men. And we conducted him into the Garden of Eden in majesty and honor. And behold, there he writeth down the condemnation and judgment of the world, and all the wickedness of the children of men. Right. And on account of it, God brought the waters of the flood upon all the land of Eden. For there he was set as a sign, and that he should testify against all the children of men. Right. That he should recount all the deeds of the generations until the day of condemnation. Right. And he burnt the incense in the sanctuary, even sweet spices, acceptable before the Lord on the mountain. For the Lord hath 4 places on the earth, the Garden of Eden, right, and the Mount of the East, and this mountain on which thou art this day, Mount Sinai and Mount Zion, which will be sanctified in the new creation for a sanctification of the earth. Through it will the earth be sanctified from all its guilt and its uncleanness throughout the generation of the world. Right. And in the 14th Jubilee. And in the 14th what? Jubilee. So we're talking about 50 times 14. Mm-hmm. So this gonna push us way up here. But you see, he's saying Mount Zion, and when that comes back, Mount Zion don't come until the Messiah come back. But you see, he done jumped from right here to Zechariah the 14th chapter. He's all the way up into Mount Zion. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Y'all see how he just jumped almost 1,000 years. Right. But now he gonna come back. Go ahead, what else to say? And in the 14th year, Methuselah took unto him a wife. What Methuselah do? Took unto him a wife. Okay. Edna, the daughter of Azriel. Yeah. The daughter of his father's brother in the 3rd week, in the 1st year of this week. And he begot a son and called his name Lamech. Now we just read about Lamech in Genesis 4. So now the book of Jubilees is finna pick up and see what we read to see what Cain's punishment was, if it's the same. But we had to go through all the Jubilees, the weeks, to jump up there. Now we all the way back
to talking about Cain and Abel, where we originally started. But Jubilees took us 300 years up into the future, and then now it's bringing us right back, so that we understand God's timeline and his language. Go ahead, read some more.
I'm about to get up out of here, Dan.
Oh, you got to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
And in the 15th Jubilee, in the 3rd week.
In the 15th Jubilee, in the 3rd week. So 15 times 50, and then in the 3rd week of the next one, 15 times 50, and then in the 3rd week, we got 21 more days. If we're doing week, if it's years, 21 more years. You understand? Because a week is 7 days. Right. The 3rd week will make 3 times 7 is what? 21. Y'all, I'm not doing numerology. What I'm doing is Jubilee talk. So you keep up with the Bible. You cannot read the Bible straight through. It's not going to give you the answers reading it straight through. It's not tip and mitten. It's not curious joy. It's here a little, there a little. If you study it, it tells you it's a 70-year course. If it's on your shelf after a week, you ain't did nothing but read through it. You don't understand no laws, statutes, or judgment. You cannot if it's back on your shelf. It's a 70-year course. It's the course of a man's life. We're given 10, which means 70. So you need this as long as you alive. Give us our daily bread. Don't cut it off after I get 50. I don't need the Bible no more. No, you need the Bible every day. It's like the car manual in your car. If that check engine light come on and you look at that code, they say you've reached 100,000 miles. You have to do this now to get that light off. If you put this book on the shelf and you only 21, then you done missed out on 21 minus 70 is what? That's how many more years you done jumped to the lead. All right, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get some more. What else say, Zed? Who got a question? Go ahead, bro.
How do you know what to do
each day? Well, okay, like when he break it off, he tell us be fruitful and multiply. So first, everything always spiritual. And then it goes, what we would say, carnal, or this dying flesh. So to be fruitful and multiply means to spread God's word daily. If it's to yourself first so that you can be able to spread it and you don't spread lies. Secondly, if you have family, it then means to procreate, to be fruitful and multiply.
I'm talking about more of what to read. Like, so
the law, the first 5 books of the Bible. Because your life, no matter where you're at on earth, is going to resolve around obedience or disobedience, or good or bad. So when you get 70, there's things that are going to happen to you that don't happen to a 26-year-old man. So if he look at all the scriptures that talks about a hoary head or a gray head, he's not going to understand it. He's just going to get past it. You know, or when he reaches 70, if he started to go back and keep talking about when I was 25 and I'm 70, then I done lost how many years of life? If I'm 70 and I keep talking about I'm 25, so 70 minus 25 is 45. So I've lost 45 years of life because I keep talking about when I was 25 and I'm 50. I'll never be able to run that fast again. I'll never be able to dunk a ball like that again. I know y'all looking at me saying, Daniel, you dunked the ball? Yeah, a couple times I won a dunk contest in my dreams. I was the victor. But I'm just saying, y'all, so in like manner, bruh, every day of your life, every walk of your life, you're going to get to a point that where you start to see, oh, okay, this is what it meant when I get this age. Or like the book of Sirach tell you, or the law tells you, honor your mother and your father all the days of your life so your life be long. If you do anything to cut that off. So it said, now, when your parents get old, they're going to start slipping.
Right.
Be patient with them and don't cross the line with them. Y'all birth certificates ain't going to never, ever be on the same day. You can never be right here with your parents and then you go up here. It's against the law for you ever to leapfrog your parents. It's a respect thing. If you disrespect them, you're going to disrespect God. If they do something you don't like, you go in your closet, you ask the Most High to deliver me from this, especially if you in their house. If you ain't in their house, you got to get your own what? House. Mm-hmm. Mama miss me with that. Get out of my room. Out of my room? And it's in their house?
You should be a vagabond.
Yeah. So, yeah. Go ahead, read that, bro. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
And he coming out of the Bible, y'all.
It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
See, the whole matter, what am I here for? What is my purpose of life? Go ahead.
Fear God.
Do what?
Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Right. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So, whether you did something secretly good, gave to a charity, man, I ain't got to mention that to nobody. That'll be mentioned on Judgment Day.
What chapter was that again?
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12 through 14. So, and then you got every evil thing. Nobody knew I was the one that robbed that bank. Well, that's coming out on Judgment Day. You were the one that robbed that bank. So there's nothing going on turn. So every religion, shalom, y'all, shalom, sister, brother. Nat. So every thing you do is being recorded. Y'all, and every time you open this Bible up or you say, I believe the Bible, your name get written in the book of life. At this point, what you're trying not to do is get it blotted out. See, your name don't go in there because you did something good. The minute you say, I believe in who God is, then your name go in the book of life. Now your whole job is the devil going to be after you, and he's going to try to do things to make God do your name like this. Because if on Judgment Day he say, if I don't see your name, ain't no check with my mom. Right. Call the pastor, he can vouch for me. Anybody seen Moses, he could tell you, Lord, I ain't did nothing. No, if your name ain't found there, it's gone. And it's gone for a reason. You either blaspheme the Holy Spirit, or you say, I hate God in my heart, and he had to mark your name out of the book. And you died in your sins because your name should be in there unless you've done something that God say, I can't have him around in my kingdom. It's just too wicked. Hell, he showed the devil a few tricks. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let's get some more. Shalom, sis. Where y'all at, y'all?
Verse 28 again.
Yeah.
And in the 5th Jubilee, in the 3rd week, Lamech took himself a wife. And her name was Betinos, the daughter of Barachiel. The daughter of his father's brother. Right. And in this week, she bore him a son. He called his name Noah, saying, this one will comfort me for my trouble.
Where you at, Jed? Hold on. Okay, 28. Go ahead.
Get ready to be 29 now. Yeah. And all my work and for the ground which the Lord cursed. Verse 29. And at the close of the 19th Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 6th year thereof, Adam died, and all his sons buried him in the land of his creation. Right. And he was the first to be buried in the earth.
Because he was the first to come from the earth. Go ahead.
And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years.
So Adam lived 930 years. Go ahead. If he'd have lived 1,000, then you go into what's called the next realm. And that means you go into where flesh cannot condemn. So no man has lived 1,000 years. Remember that one day to the Lord is as 1,000 years to us. Because he's the Ancient of Days. He don't count calendar time. Right. What he counts is by 1,000 years. Every day to him is 1,000 years. So that's why men, when they say, know this day you're going to die, it's talking spiritually. No man has lived 1,000 years. No man that walked this earth. And then it keep going down. When the flood came, it dropped to 120 years, the lifespan. Because that's how long it took to build an ark for salvation. And then in our time now, it's dropped down to 70 years. So that's why we look at life at only 70 years. Man, congratulations. Think about Adam, 930 years, and we congratulating for 70 years. Hold on one second, Elder. What you got, Sister Alicia? When it was created, because look, at the beginning, we got 3 days in Genesis 1, that the morning and the evening were the first day. The sun and the moon and the stars were not created to the 4th day. So we got 3 days of light and darkness. and the sun and the moon weren't created yet. Where is that light coming from? See, because in Isaiah 66, and when the second coming come, you always see he going to block out the sun and the moon. That's how you going to know at Christ's second return. If anybody's saying they God and sitting on the throne and you look up and see the sun or the moon, they are a liar. Christ said, I'm going to knock them lights out just like I did at the beginning of this creation. And we're going to go under the light of the Messiah. Y'all understand? When you read Isaiah 65, Isaiah 66, you're going to see it. Matthew 24, I'm going to block the sun and the moon out. Because people worship the sun and the moon. So I'm going to wipe all the gods off of earth, who you worship, and then I'm going to bring you true light. What you got, AZ?
It refers to him being the light of the world.
Him, the light of the world. That's what we're talking about. Because it was lit for 3 days. And that time period was 1,000 years per day.
So that's 3,000 years.
No, I mean at the beginning. So to Sabbath, it was 7,000 years in the creation. From Sabbath to Sabbath. It was because even though the sun and the moon was there, it did not go into effect. It went into effect when Adam and Eve sinned. It's plan B. That's why one created to the 4th day. Once you sin, now you got to come under artificial light, which is the sun and the moon. It's going to burn your skin. They didn't know it. They had never felt it because they was in the garden. And when they came out, they're like, what's this burning my skin? What's this cold? What's this cold? I don't know that. That's why I say in the kingdom, all of that will be gone away. That's why on earth, there's no one place you can call paradise. If you go to Hawaii, what's going to happen in that paradise if something get rough? Volcanoes. Yeah. You go to LA, what's going to happen there? Ground shaking, ain't it? Anywhere you go on this earth, there's going to, if you say this paradise, the wrath of God will interrupt that and you won't say that. He making sure there's no place you can escape to that you can say, I'm running from his wrath. I'm going to find my own paradise. No, you ain't. His wrath going to be there. And it's going to make sure anything you call paradise, I'll interrupt that on you in a second. You get paradise when you keep my commandments. That's at the beginning and it's at the end in Revelation. Anybody that gained the garden, keep my commandments and you'll get in there. Adam went in the garden 2 hours before him and Eve broke the commandments. Yeah. See, the Garden of Eden was planted before earth was. It was already made. It said he planted a garden eastward in Eden. Eden is the world. And he took his garden and put it on the east side. It was already formed. Adam wasn't born in Grant's farm. There wasn't no trees and just rubbing on animals like that. It was a super powerhouse kingdom that you read in Revelation 21. That kingdom that's coming back down, they had walls and jewels and all of that. That's what Adam was a high priest of. He was not in Grant's form. He wasn't walking around naked. Because Exodus 32 said Aaron made them naked. That means the shame come off of you. When you know you're wrong and somebody says, you got the drawers pulled off of him. You got on your clothes, but that's just a sign of saying he was naked. It wasn't no nudist camp in the Garden of Eden. They broke God's law and shame came upon them. That's how they knew they was naked. The covering of God had been snatched off of them. Their protection. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 30 again.
Yeah.
And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years. For 1,000 years are as one day in the testimony of heaven.
You read that in Psalms 90 and 10, and you can back that up in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 5 through 8. It'll say the same thing. Old and New Testament is going to say the same thing. Go ahead. What else to say, bro?
And therefore it was written concerning the tree of knowledge. On the day that you eat thereof, you will die.
You will do what?
You will die. For this reason, he did not complete the years of this day. For he died during it.
So he died during that. Because he ate from the tree that quick. The devil just came up and asked him, what did God tell you to do? He asked Eve. He didn't come to the man. He went to the woman. to get to the man. Even though Genesis say, and she gave to Adam right there with her, and he did eat. If Adam was right there, he the biggest simp on planet Earth that ever existed, to watch another individual mack his woman. And I'm just using these on what they use today. Huh? Back in the day, we called it macking a woman. So Satan was macking her and Adam standing right there. But when you get to the punishments, he punished them individually. He asked the woman, he never asked Adam, did you eat from that tree? Adam said, the woman you gave me, she gave me of the fruit, and I did eat. She said, look, baby, we could be gods. Where you hear that from? It's a tree over there that told me all this. But we know the tree was the serpent of good and evil. He was already thrown out of heaven. The war in heaven was before planet Earth was created. Right. Genesis 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 is coming out of a flood. That war in heaven. So earth was destroyed then. It's just being reformatted for Adam and Eve because Satan them failed. He was here waiting for Adam and Eve when they got here. He was already here. The war in heaven had already took place. All we have to find between Genesis and Revelation, the war in heaven. Can we find it?
No.
Let's get some more.
Verse 31.
Yeah.
At the close of this jubilee, Cain was killed after him in the same year. For his house fell on him, and he died in the midst of his house. And he was killed by its stone. Right. For with a stone he had killed Abel. And by a stone he was killed in righteous judgment. For this reason it was ordained on the heavenly tablet that the instruction with which a man killed his neighbor, with the same he will be killed. Like Revelations 11 say, if you kill with the sword, you must be killed with the sword. Well, we don't have swords today. So if you kill with the 9mm, you should be killed with the 9mm. But a lot of times it just won't be that. It will be you died for the crime you commit. And it was put to death. So you'll get put to death the same way. So y'all just remember, Jubilees is saying a stone fell on him in his house. Now his house has a whole generation of people in it. And we don't hear nobody else getting killed. So either Cain family had died or he was the only one in the house. But it don't give no more information. But we're going to look at the Bible and see what house is house only talking about a structure. Could it be talking about the house of AZ? The house of Tobias. What does the house of Tobias mean? Who does it include? His family, his children in the house. That's the house of you. So when your house fall on you, we just gonna get and clear up the stone part that's throwing a few people off. Y'all understand? Because the Bible does that. Jacob's trouble coming, right? Jacob been dead how long? Jacob died before we left Egypt, right? So how's Jeremiah the prophet talking about he got some trouble coming? Jacob. But it's talking about Jacob's offspring, the 12 tribes, the house of Jacob. You're getting trouble with just using your daddy's name. Y'all understand? Because he dead. The only way that would work is if he reincarnated, and the Bible don't teach reincarnation. That's Egyptology doctrine. But bro, did that kind of understand you about what we supposed to do daily? Keep the commandments, and you got to know them so you can keep them. That's the first 5 books, and then statutes and judgments. That's the prophets. They'll break down the law. What have y'all ever heard that Noah did? I mean, what Ham did to his father Noah? Throughout church. I'm just asking you, have you ever heard what he did? When Noah got off the boat, it said his son did something to him. And we were cursed black because of that. Like he uncovered his father's nakedness. That's what he said he did. So everybody else, Farrakhan say he pulled a homosexual act on Noah. Christians say it too. Other people say he just shamed them and pulled the covers off and looked like, oh, Daddy could have kept that Vienna sausage in the can. And he did that. He said he shamed his dad. But when you go to the law of God, it says if a man uncover his neighbor's nakedness, he slept with his wife. That's how Canaan got on the scene. Cursed be Canaan. Ham was never cursed. Who is Canaan at this point? Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, uncovered his father's skirt. He slept with his little brother's mom, which was one of Jacob's wives.
So if they'd have had a child, what was the child gonna call him? Daddy, uncle? Uncle, daddy. So he uncovered Habakkuk 2:15. Do not give your neighbor the bottle to drink that you may uncover his nakedness. If you see Denzel Washington, Devil in the Blue Dress, y'all remember that? He gave his neighbor the bottle, knocked him out, and then he uncovered his skirt. He was with his woman. Leviticus 18:20. Do not approach your father's brother. Who is your father's brother? To uncover his nakedness. She is thine aunt. It's telling you, you go to your father's brother, you messing with your auntie. That's his nakedness. That nakedness belongs to him. That's not your nakedness, that's his. He's the only one supposed to see it. Y'all understand, but when a man uncovered nakedness, and that's where we get the term MF. Because F-U-C-K is in capital, for unlawful carnal knowledge or unlawful sexual intercourse. That's what F-U-C-K means, always in capital. A mother for unlawful carnal knowledge, that's where the word came from. That's why it's called a curse word. You black MF. Technically, if we went to the Bible, that means you black slept with your daddy's woman. That's what it means. So we have to be careful when you say, man, I'm a bad mother. I'm a cold mother. You mean that you cold and sleeping with your daddy's woman? So the Bible explains itself. That's what you have to understand, because it uses its own language so that you don't get thrown aside. And on Judgment Day, you won't think you're getting a free case. It's like habeas corpus in this land. They use Black's Law Dictionary in court. That's not Webster. They use a different dictionary. So when they say habeas corpus, that don't mean a raggedy hobo, a corpus, or a raggedy dead person. It don't mean that. It has its own language for what habeas corpus means. And when you're in that courtroom, you got to follow that language of Black's law book, because that's the only book they're using in the courtroom. They only use the Bible when they need to get you to perjure yourself. Say you swear. Well, the Bible say don't ever swear unless you're ready to put your testicles on the table. Because they'll tell you, if you put your hand on her, 5 years for perjury. Because the Bible tell you don't do that. The Bible say I affirm. I affirm, and they say, oh, we'll take that. Affirm means, hold on, just one second. Affirm means I'm going to tell you as clear as I can remember. But I'm not going to put vow on that line. Like we say, I put that on my mama. You can't put that on your mama. Right. Not according to the Bible, you put that on you.
Why don't you use the Quran?
Huh?
Why don't you use the Quran?
I can't hear you.
Why don't you use the Quran?
Right. Why they don't use no other book but the Bible to make you swear on. Go ahead, what you got, OG?
Back in the day, I had caught a case, and when I went to trial,
Yeah.
my lawyer said, if you don't want to answer the question, just tell him I don't know.
You did what?
He said, don't tell him I don't remember.
Right.
He said, don't say nothing, because, see, one thing about a lawyer, he's a mouthpiece. He I know how to manipulate words.
Yeah.
So what it is, whatever you say,
Could be used against you. They tell you that. But we like to fat mouth. All you have to do is just be quiet.
Give them too much information.
Just too much information. Just be quiet. If they say we're going to charge, thou sayest. You got me messed up, Mr. Pig Officer. I smell your bacon from here. You say all that you want.
Okay.
But charges going to keep stacking up. Let's get some more of this. Where did we finish that? Okay. No, that's all we wanted was, it says he was killed by stones, for with a stone he had killed Abel, and by a stone he was killed in righteous judgment. So that's what we have to understand. Cain was killed in righteous judgment. So he was never killed by Adam when he killed his son. He ended up getting killed by what we so far looking at is his great-grandson. So how is that righteous judgment for his great-grandson to kill him and he wasn't nowhere around? We're going to get to it in the scripture. So y'all, next one, we get out of Jubilees, y'all just mark that down. And y'all, this is Bible study. So anytime some do this, just stop us, y'all. Because we have to leave here, you say, I understood that. I may need a little bit more work on this other over here, but I understood it. Everything y'all taught today, I could teach somebody else. If you leave here and you say that man showed preached, them brothers up there, and boy, they was reading, what you learned? You know, I can't remember. If you do that, you might as well stay at church. Because that's what we say about the pastor. Man, that pastor sure preached today. What did he preach about? Shit, I can't remember. I was hollering so much. Then there's nothing you can spread after that. Let's get some more of this, y'all. We got to get caught up. We ain't got nothing but an hour.
There's a question out there.
Who got a question? Go ahead.
I got a question right here in the chat, Dan. Amen HB asks, if someone finds or fails to find the spirit, but they find religion, and they fight the spirit with religion, which is church doctrine, unknowingly, is it only up to them to want to get on the right path?
Absolutely. See, you can water, but the Most High get an increase. See, we can take them to the well, but we can't make them drink. See, all you do is plant the seed. The Most High gonna do all the growing if they want it to be nurtured in good ground. That's the parable of the sower. Seeds fell on stony ground. It's like you put seeds on the concrete, ain't nothing gonna happen. Some shallow ground. That means they're gonna grow up, but as soon as the sun come out, it's gonna burn that up. But the seeds that get into good ground, all the way deep root, then they flourish. He's saying it's the same way with men in the Bible. You could be on one day and the next day you fall off. You could be on one day and the next day we got pictures of you at Puffy's party.
You all puffed up.
You all puffed up, yes sir, yes sir.
Did he give the second part of that?
Was the second part of that too by?
You give him the second part of that?
Or should you persist as a teacher?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, so let's get it.
Right.
Okay, so y'all, let's get into the book of Jasher, y'all, and then we're going to speed it up real quick. We just want to show where it looks like two different ways Cain died. We just got in Jubilees that said it looked like a stone came upon him because he killed Abel. Well, he killed Abel with multiple weapons. What's that stone? You gonna sis, be careful out there. Watch out for the devil. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, he better watch out for you, okay? Yes, sir, let's get it. We're going to the book of Jasher, chapter 1, y'all. Now look, this book is mentioned in Joshua, the book of Joshua 10:13, 2 Samuel 1:18, and 2 Timothy 3:8. It tells us to study out of the book of Jasher. So if y'all don't have one, smartphone it again. Book of Jasher, PDF. Y'all, we got to use these smartphones for something. While we got time, because eventually they're going to take this phone from us. And this is your lifeline right now. You'll be almost 10 minutes to work and turn around and go back and get this phone. For what? There's no communication. I can buy, sell, or trade with this right here. Ain't no pay phones no more. This is always attached to my hand. I got Library of Alexandria, the Library of Greece, United States Library. I got it all right here, and all I have to do is hit Google. I can find your house. I ain't got to read no maps. Google. Where A.Z. Ben Yehuda live? You want to go down. Make a right. The house is on your left. Google. I need to kill somebody. Where they live? You want to go down there? Make a right, and he'll probably be sitting on the porch like he always is. Spray the whole porch. Thank you, Google.
You ain't heard this from me.
Right, go ahead, bro. And y'all, this is what they track. When you commit a crime, they don't care about what you're saying. They come for this. Because you can't let go. You can't let go. And they come for this and they read your conscience. What did you Google? How to get away with murder. Let's see this. Next, duct tape, lime, and a shovel. Let's get Home Depot cameras. There you is with duct tape, lime, and a shovel on the counter. Your conscience is in this. This is what they're trying to get. Before you hit sin, regulate up here. Who is this going to offend? God first, man second. Before I hit sin. Once you hit it, it's in the cloud. You can't never get rid of it. You can put this in the microwave, they'll just laugh. Get it out of the microwave and get the chip out of it. They get old text messages. Man, I wrote that 6 years ago. It's in the cloud. That's how we know what you're thinking. We ain't got to ask you no question. We just going to bring out the phone. So you said you didn't call Do Dirty now and went with them, did you? Whose number is 381-9677? Who number is that?
Do Dirty.
Do Dirty number. You know it's in your phone. Okay, right. That's what you have to say. Go ahead, bro. Yes, ma'am.
So they did that the same way as what the
You got it. It's like your conscience tells you things if you don't read the Bible. If you never understood this, if it's 7:30, 7:45 in the wintertime, you at the steakhouse and here's the steakhouse alley. And your car is parked between there. Something will tell you, don't go down that steakhouse alley. The hair stand up on your neck. So you walk down the olive and walk around. If you walk down that alley and a cat jump from behind that dumpster at the steakhouse alley, you're going to be a candidate for the Olympics. Because you're going to run past your car and you're going to be at your front door. Where your car at? Shit, I had to run off and leave it. Some told me not to walk down that alley. So you're warned what's evil and what's good. It's always there. It will be out without excuse on Judgment Day. Go ahead, bro.
That's what we get that. I knew I should have listened to my first.
My first mind is always God. Who's your second mind? The devil. That's why the devil never gives out free cases. He always asks you, what did God tell you? And then he puts doubt in your mind, but he always asks to make sure so I can accuse you. The devil don't get free cases. If you say the devil made you do it, you are lying on the devil. And a lie is a sin, whether it's the devil or not. You can't lie on the devil. Let's get some more. The devil don't give out free cases. Where we at? We're going to Jasher chapter 1. Y'all, we're going to speed through this a little bit because I want to get into some things that talk about a stone and a house, because we have to get into how Cain was killed. We know what his punishment was, a fugitive and a vagabond. So that means throughout the earth, everybody that's sealed, he gonna think they know he done something wrong. You don't even have to say nothing. It's just his conscience. They looking at you. It's like when police kill us and we think they got off. They ain't got off. They twisting and turning in their bed every night because that person they kill will walk by the edge of the bed. Why you beat me with that nightstick like that? Then they kicking covers up to the ceiling fan. Conscience will whoop you worse than any jail cell. Because when you go in the jail cell, it still whoops you. It don't go nowhere. It's with you until you repent. Let's get some more. Jasher chapter 1. We'll start in verse 12. Y'all got that Jasher pulled up? Let's get it.
The book of Jasher chapter 1. Oh.
Verse 12.
I thought it was verse 2. My bad.
No, verse 12. What we're going to do, y'all, we're going to just pick it up where we've been reading in Genesis. We read in Jubilee. We're going to pick up from the same spot. So all three books are painting the same subject matter. They're not going over here to where we make it say that. Every one of them going to be straight like we just read it in the other two books. Let's get it.
The book of Jasher chapter 1 verse 12.
What it say?
And the Lord God drove them that day from the Garden of Eden.
After Adam and Eve sinned,
to till the ground from which they were taken.
See, they wasn't born in the Garden of Eden. They was born in Eden, the earth, and he brought them to the Garden of Eden. Just like if we make the kingdom, if we resurrected or the Messiah come back before we die, then we'll be brought into that kingdom, New Jerusalem that I saw descending down. You ain't never going up there. Earth is his footstool. Heaven is his throne. You will never go up there. There's no scripture that say we ever go up there. If we do go up there, it's just temporary on the third level of heaven till the second coming happen. Then he said he bring the saints with him. Pit stop at the third level and come back down on earth where everything takes place on planet Earth. We ain't gonna never go up there. Big Mama ain't watching nothing up there. Big Mama's resting, waiting on Judgment Day, like we all will. Unless Christ come while we still alive. And then your flesh will change back if you're found righteous, like Adam and Eve was before they sinned. Incorruptible. See, this will die. All flesh die. You can put flesh in your freezer and it's been in there more than 2 months. What that flesh gonna be doing? Stinking! Because it's dead flesh. You can't put ice on dead. It has to return back to immortality. And that's looking just like you do, acting just like you do, but with the face and skin a little DJ back there, that baby boy. Can you imagine y'all sitting at that table with his skin and his eyes? Y'all see how clear his eyes is? See, our eyes right now, you be like, man, you got jaundice? But we say their eyes so clear, but but they white. You can't see through to his brain. You're just talking about how pure the white is. You know it's free of illness. I mean, free of fault or sin. It's pure. That's what we'll go back to. Our eyes will get that clear. We'll look just like we do, but the skin will change to baby skin. For eternity. Let's get some more.
Verse 12 again. And the Lord God drove them that day from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which they were taken.
That's right.
And they went and dwelt at the east of the Garden of Eden.
That's what New Jerusalem is, in the east. So when we pray, we turn toward the east. We turn where Jerusalem, where the temple used to be. Go ahead.
And Adam knew his wife Eve. And she bore 2 sons and 3 daughters.
So we know this no is again a sexual no, because it says she bore 2 sons and 3 daughters. Go ahead.
And she called the name of the firstborn Cain, saying, I have obtained a man from the Lord. And the name of the other she called Abel. For she said, in vanity we came into the earth.
Vanity means worthless, because we came into the earth parts, not the garden. We're worthless because we're going to die. How died the rich man? Just like the poor man. I don't care how much money he got. He can't take none of it with him. Let's get some more.
And in vanity we will be taken from it. And the boys grew up, and their father gave them possessions in land. And Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Right.
And Abel a keeper of sheep.
So we see here, though, get back to 13, say she born Cain, but this is one of the sins of Eve. When you read Genesis 3:16, her curse for her dealing with Satan, her and Satan alone, because it was spiritual fornication. The devil was teaching her how to be fruitful and multiply a different way. Really, you ought to be able to tell him some things too. And she saw a tree, one to be desired, to make her wiser than the commandments God had gave. Because the first thing the Most High asked her, what did you do? Did you eat from that tree I told you not to? She said, yes. Adam was nowhere around. And she punished him and said, okay, since you wanted sexual knowledge while you were in your innocence, they were grown adults, so to speak. They had on clothes, but they were innocent. He was teaching them how to become adults and when to take on a child, a responsibility. So that's where all her punishments at. Pain during childbirth, a menstrual cycle, and multiple conceptions. That means she's going to twin. See, babies were supposed to be born, they were just supposed to pop out. Pluca, no epidural, no nothing. Painless, no nothing. That's how it would have been. But since we sin, they got to holler. Because now you're bringing in birth so we can remind you of what this caused. Your offspring, death. So you may die giving birth and that child may live. Or that child may die and you may live. And you got multiple conceptions. That means after you get through hollering with one, they say, here come number 2. And the holler starts all over again. And you think I'm ruined for life behind this. What man? No, I ain't gonna go there, but y'all understand what I'm saying, what her punishment was. And then Adam got his punishment. For you listening to her, well, if he was right there, then he would have said he listened to the devil. He said, I'm going to punish you for listening to her because I told you what to order. She take commandments from you. I gave it to you, you give it to her, she give it to the children. Why did you leapfrog this? Let her get a top. That's 1 Corinthians 11. If a man have long hair, it ain't talking about her like we got. It's talking about if he switch roles with his woman.
He got rollers in it.
He got rollers in his heart. But basically, she's running the show like Jezebel was doing Ahab the king. She's in charge now. So now it's the Father, Christ, the woman, then man, and then the children. He said, you cannot switch my order. If you switch my order, it's going to go bad. Because 1 Corinthians say, does nature teach you that if a man have long hair, it's an abomination? What in nature teaches a man that? Because if we represent the lion, who got the long hair? The male or the female? So it ain't talking about that. It's talking about in nature. 2 things in nature, if it get ahead of the male species, it's going to kill it. The black widow and what else? The praying mantis. After they mate with their male side, the praying mantis bite his head off. The black widow, that's why they always say the black widow on 13th Street. She's had 7 men and ain't 7 survived. The black widow. Yo, we say things that don't know why we say it. What you got, Sister Alicia? Oh, well, yeah, that's called, if they were twins. There's another term called that if we looked at Adam and Eve as twin, being by two different people, because some people say Cain is the devil's son. The only problem with that, the devil ain't mentioned in Genesis 4 or Genesis 5. And not only that, Cain just had the spirit of the devil. That's all it was. He followed him because it says a rotten tree cannot bring forth good fruit. If Cain had been born of the devil, the Lord would have never told him, if you do right, you'll get back in my good grace. If you're born of the devil, you can never get right. A rotten tree can't bring forth good fruit. Just like the Antichrist is the son of the devil. The Antichrist will never heal the blind. The Antichrist will never make the lame walk, because he's of the devil, and the devil is here to do what? Kill, steal, and destroy. He's not here to help you out. Neither is his children. So we have to understand that Cain was truly Adam's son. Now there's a term called superfetation. Y'all look this up when y'all get a chance.
Hey, I was just wondering, is that what he meant when he was saying he was going to put enmity between the woman and
her seed and his seed?
seed?
Well, woman don't have seed unless you understand the war in heaven. Revelation 12. It says the seed of the woman. See, we have to understand what happens is, so we don't get miscegenated out as a people, the bloodline goes through our women and men. That's why every nation have a law against us. If you get 1/5 of our blood, they dominate your race. We the only people, even the Chickasaw Indians, y'all look up their Oklahoma covenant. They say, we can't let black people in. I know we say we got Indian in us, but they say if we let them in, they're going to destroy our bloodline. In the Constitution, Thomas Jefferson, 1/5 of our blood changed because all them babies had by Sally Hemings. Where was them babies at? With us, in the slave quarters. They weren't in the master's house because they had Dr. J. Afro and LaQuisha Fro. Even though that's their daddy, our blood dominates. We got the blessing of Abraham, the blood covenant. So we can't be miscegenated out because we're here in captivity. All the master will have to do is kill all the men and rape all the women, and we would be gone as a nation. But if they mate with our women take over too, as far as their bloodline for the offspring. It prevents us from being miscegenated out, so the prophecies still fulfill themselves at the end, because he still got to gather us from the four corners of the earth. If we miscegenated out, who he gathered? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let's get some more, y'all. We got to get caught up. Where you at? What you laughing at, Ariel?
Verse 15.
Yeah.
And it was at the expiration of a few years that they brought a comparable offering to the Lord. And Cain brought from the fruit of the ground.
What did he bring?
From the fruit of the ground.
Potatoes and onions. Go ahead.
And Abel brought from the firstlings of his flock.
From his cattle. Like his altar, that has to be sacrificed. Go ahead.
From the fat thereof. And Yahweh turned and inclined to Abel and his offering. And a fire came down from the Lord from heaven and consumed it.
So when fire come down, that means the Lord accepting your sacrifice. Go ahead.
And to Cain and his offering, the Lord did not turn, and he did not incline to it, for he had brought from the inferior fruit of the ground before the Lord. And Cain was jealous against his brother Abel on account of this, and he sought a pretext to slay him.
So now what it says, Cain is thinking about, I'm gonna kill him because God like him more than he like me. Right. If you'd offer what God required, God would like you too. Right. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it's saying inferior, he did not turn to it because he brought the inferior of the ground. King Saul was put to death. The Most High said, go in there and wipe all of Abimelech and his family out. Wipe them out completely. And whatever the spoils is, bring it back. No, he said kill everything, even the sheep and everything. Right. So Saul spared the king because they was buddies. They was affiliated. And then he brought back all those sheep and sacrificed the sheep that was supposed to be put to death. Kill that whole generation out. We don't want nothing to do with them. They had 400 years to get this right, and they didn't get it right. I'm punishing them for what they did to y'all when y'all was coming out of Egypt through the Red Sea and through the wilderness. They wouldn't let y'all pass through. I gave them 400 years before to all 8 generations that say, we sorry about blocking the children of Israel. And they did. He said, wipe them all out. They had 400 years. So just think about it. We won't apologize if it take us 4 hours. We still will be fighting against it. He gave them 400 years. And they didn't do it. And he brought back and he sacrificed sheep that was supposed to be put dead. So he offered the Lord inferior. The Lord said, you losing your mind. First you go to that witch doctor. And now you bringing me inferior offering. You and your whole household going to be dead by this time tomorrow. Y'all understand? And he's the king. So the Most High ain't no respecter of person. We know what he did to King David. Let's get some more. You in verse 17?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And sometime after, Cain and his brother Abel went into the field one day to do their work. And they were both in the field, Cain tilling and plowing his ground, and Abel feeding his flock. And the flock passed that part which Cain had plowed in the ground. And it severely grieved Cain on this account. And Cain approached his brother Abel in anger. And he said to him, what is there between me and you, that you come to dwell and bring your flock to feed in my land? And Abel answered his brother Cain and said to him, what is there between me and you, that you will eat the flesh of my flock and clothe yourself with their wool? So
basically he's saying, you plow in the field, my sheep came through where you was plowing at, you screaming at me about my sheep, but my sheep, you eat its flesh and you wearing its clothes. I sheared my sheep and made you a coat, and you talking about them walking through your land, and you wearing their clothes. You know what I'm saying? The clothes you wearing. You know, that's crazy, ain't it? That's crazy, man. Go ahead. That's like somebody telling their mom and dad, get out of my room. Okay, go ahead.
And now therefore, put off the wool of my sheep, with which ye have clothed yourself, and repay me for their fruit and flesh which ye have eaten. And when you will have done this, I will then go from your land as you have said.
So Abel just basically said, look, give me back them clothes you got on, and I'll never let my sheep come through here no more. Just pull them clothes off. Go ahead. What? Yes, sir. And pay me for that food, that good lamb meat. Go ahead. What else to say? Verse 22, we hold up.
And Cain said to his brother Abel, surely if I slay you this day, who will require your blood from me? And Abel answered Cain, saying, surely God, who has made us from the earth, will avenge my cause, and he will require my blood from you, should you slay me. For the Lord is the judge and arbiter, and it is he who will pay back man according to his evil, and the wicked man according to the wickedness that he may do on earth.
Now y'all read the rest of that chapter, but we're gonna jump to 22 because that's just telling you how it broke down little Genesis, skipping. It went day to day and told you why Cain was really mad at Abel. Because Abel questioned him. Look, man, I can't pass through there and you got on my clothes? Your belly fat because of what I gave you for free. And I can't pass through? He said, tell you what, pull them off and I'll pass through. So we got there, and that's why Cain really got angry. That's why he said, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill my own brother. But that was the devil whispering to him, kill him. Kill that nigga. You the oldest anyway. How you going to put you down?
Yeah, talking to you.
Yeah, he the beaver and you Wally. But the devil is the Eddie Haskell angel. Y'all understand what I'm saying? For some of them too young here to know about the beaver. Yeah, go ahead, bro. But y'all know how Eddie Haskell was G. Mrs. Cleveland and caused all the dirt.
So you want to go to 2 now?
We're going to chapter 2, y'all, this same book, and we're going to get right down to the problem. Just start at verse 17. And y'all see, everything we read is matching up. It's just filling in the gaps. But what is filling in cannot break the law of God. If you find something say, no, that book of Jasher I'm reading in Deuteronomy 5, the law, it says that can't happen. If we look and say, you know what, you're absolutely right. We close this book up and put it away. Most people have problems with contradiction because they don't know the law of God. The law of God has become a strange thing to us. We ain't got a clue. We don't know how to count jubilees. We don't even know what it means to uncover nakedness. We don't know what curse words are. You understand? Cursed be he that doeth that. That's what curse word. When you put all of those curses into a sentence, then you become a railer. You black MF, ugly, no good. See, then they become curse words. Or we make curse words good. Shaft, you are bad. Y'all know what it say?
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Because what we finna call him, Samuel Jackson. Right. And why do that word only attribute to the children of Israel? Samuel Jackson. Who else? Cat Williams. Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you for uncovering your father's nakedness, mother. That's what he would have really said on the Apollo show. I ain't scared of you uncovering your father's nakedness, individuals. But he used the term. Go ahead, let's read some more, y'all. We got to get caught up. What you got, Enoch?
The scripture says, you do error in not knowing
the truth. Or the scripture, how to rightly divide it. See, it's personal interpretation free. 2 Peter 1:20, the Bible is of no personal interpretation. 2 Timothy 3 tells you the same thing. It's inspiration God moved me. I tell you what to do and you write it down. If we start to get in, the white man wrote the Bible, the white man wrote your birth certificate. Hell, you could have been born in August, not December. The white man wrote that. How you know for sure? Y'all understand what I'm saying? So you can't get into those semantics. Let's get some more, y'all. We got to get caught up.
We're going to be reading in the book of Jasher, chapter 2.
Verse 17.
Verse 17.
And
Lamech, the son of Methuselah, became related to Canaan by marriage. And he took his 2 daughters for his wives. And Ada conceived and bore a son to Lamech. And she called his name Jabal.
And we saying the same thing in Genesis 4th chapter. We saying the same thing in Jubilees. There's 2 wives. So everything is painting the same subject matter. Exactly. Let's get some more.
Verse 18.
Yeah.
And she again conceived and bore a son, and called his name Jubal. And Zillah, her sister, was barren in those days and had no offspring.
So what I wanted to say too, when sister asked about twins being born of different fathers, y'all can Google right now. German woman has baby by black and white father. So it's called superfetation. Y'all write that down. Superfetation. Super, F-E-T-ation. Superfetation. It means a woman getting pregnant by 2 different seeds. And it's happened throughout the earth. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So that can happen. So if you're saying she had a baby by the devil and one by Adam, then that was superfetation that took place. The only problem with that is that the devil, who's been thrown out of heaven always, cannot produce good seed, because the angels that fell and got with women did not produce good seed. All of those children had to be put to death. That was half supernatural and half, because they took the wives of men.
But even with David, he did adultery, and that child had to be put down.
It sure was put down in 7 days. And most likely it was a boy child, because boy child had to be circumcised in the 8th day. But we can't circumcise a child, bring him in a covenant. He's born of adultery. Not until he get past the generations if he live. But we can't let this happen to the king. And then when the child died, and a few years later, then he married Bathsheba legally, because her husband was dead. And then Solomon came. So now we got the righteous king back on the throne. But that child that was born in adultery couldn't have never sat on the throne. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because it was a legal marriage. We're taking Uriah's the Hittite's wife. See, and that's what we have to understand. Bathsheba was an Israelite. Uriah was an African. What is he doing guarding David's bed? But the script we don't teach black supremacy. We don't teach white supremacy or black Hebrew Israelite. We teach we are the descendants of the Hebrew Israelites, born of Jacob, born of Isaac, born of Abraham. We cannot put black in there, because y'all see how we was reading Lineage, And he bare Methuselah. And then Methuselah bare Enoch. And then Enoch bare Black. Where you ever gonna see that at? Run them that Zondervan real quick, y'all. And we have to do this, y'all. We may be going away a little bit. So y'all understand everything black ain't Israel. Because the definition tell y'all, every African nation know what nation they come from. Zimbabwe, Kenya, Rhodesia, Ghana. So they named their nation. But there's no place called Negroville. Ain't no Coon counties. Ain't no Spiritual Avenue. We are the bywords and proverbs because we disobeyed our God. He said, I'm going to send you to a land where they're going to do just like y'all like to do here in the Holy Land. Y'all robbing y'all brother. Y'all breaking the law. Y'all can't be in this Holy Land. Y'all got to get out of here. I'm going to send y'all to a nation that'll show y'all exactly what y'all want. They ruthless. What it say in that Zondervan? This is a Bible pictorial dictionary. And we're talking about Ham because they say Ham pulled Noah's cover off and he was cursed black. That's where we came from. We was cursed black. See, they only named 3 people. Ham, black man, Japheth, yellow man, Shem, white man. Well, it ain't in the scripture because the Bible don't do color. It do nations. It don't do religion. It do law, statutes, and judgment. We are Christ followers, Christians, but we don't chase Christianity. That was formed by the Romans in 332 AD. It's a total different doctrine. The Pope don't read nothing in the Bible. The Pope say worship Mary. She's without sin, not the Messiah. That's why they parade Mary around. And when you give them your sin, what they say 10 hail what? They don't say 10 hail Messiahs or Jesus because they don't look at them. They into mother worship. They just claim the Bible. But nothing the Pope and them do. We ain't never told to call no man Holy Father and tell him your sins and he looking over there listening naked under them robes. And then, no, get back to the part when you put Bertha legs on the ceiling fan. That's the part I want to hear. Let's get it, y'all. Where you at? Read Ham for me.
Out of Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary.
What'd it say?
The definition of Ham. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood. And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
Yes, sir.
He became the progenitor
of the father
of the dark races.
Of the dark races. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes.
But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
That's who he was the father of, but not us. We're not Hamites. We're not African. We ain't on no back to African move. Africans sold us to the European. When we got run out of Jerusalem, we ran in parts of Africa because Egypt is only a 2 days journey. Jerusalem is in northeast Africa. It's just the land, but not the people. We ran into there, got run out. They sold us to the European. Ain't no African, in Black History Month, did any African nations come up to contribute to us and say, send them back home yet? In 1968, we couldn't go into the Chase Park Plaza, but Africans could go in there with their dogs in 1968. Why y'all think that is? Through the front door. Colin Powell served 2 terms in wars. And when he came back and tried to go to the front of the restaurant, they say, niggas go round back. Y'all understand what I'm saying? They are different nations. We are the children of Israel. The Bible only deals with nations. It don't deal with religion. Religion can't be found in here. Laws, statutes, and judgment for every group of people on the earth. And Noah gave it to Ham, he gave it to Japheth, and he gave it to Shem. These are the Lord's commandments. Ham got off the boat and broke the law because he's charged with a crime of the law. Let's get some more, y'all. We got about a half hour. Go ahead.
Back in the book of Jasher, chapter 2, and we're at verse 19.
Yes, sir.
It reads, For in those days the sons of men began to trespass against Yahweh and to transgress the commands which he had commanded to Adam.
Right.
To be fruitful and multiply in the earth.
So be fruitful and multiply. That was the first commandment.
Yeah.
That's the same thing Satan get us with. And all throughout the Bible, you'll see the children of Israel. Every prophet or oracle of the dark side will tell everybody, you cannot curse these people. We're not cursed people. We're just under a curse. He said you can't curse them. But what you can get them with is fornication. They love fornication. They love, because we're in a marriage covenant with our God. The Bible is the only book on earth that has a marriage covenant. He's married to us. All the other doctrines are whole doctrine. Egyptology, Muslims, Moors, all of that, they steal from the Bible and create their own religion. Malcolm X in his movie, when he going up against the Christian preacher, so to speak, the Christianity preacher, he quoted the Bible. In the Bible, don't say the Hebrew's black. All Muslims keep saying, do you know your Bible? Ain't nobody saying, do you know your Quran, and I'm supposed to be a Muslim. Right. Why you keep coming at this?
Right.
Let's get some more.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
And some of the sons of men caused their wives to drink a draught that would render them barren, in order that they might retain their figure, and whereby their beautiful appearance might not fade.
So where we're at right now, we just read about Adam and Eve, and now we already done jumped to Genesis 6. We at where the angels came down and started making remember. This is why you got to be careful with these scripts, because they'll jump on you, and then they go back to the story at hand. So you don't get nothing mixed up. Y'all understand? Because there ain't no place from Genesis to Revelation that we can find a dinosaur on earth, we can find Leviathan, or we can find saber-toothed tigers or mammoth elephants. Right. That happened in the fall with Lucifer. We dig those things up. They were frozen alive. We dig them up. But ain't nobody got no archaeology of a dinosaur on planet Earth. Job talked about dinosaurs in Job 40:15, and Leviathan, the fire-breathing dragon, in Job 40, what is it, 42, Jesus? 41. It talks about them two beasts, but it's talking about it pushes it back to before Adam and Eve. It say they dwelt on the earth at that point. But you can't find that species on earth right now. Let's get some more.
And wasn't they talking birth control right there?
That's what they were talking, birth control. So it say women keep their figure. So they're giving them pills that they have miscarriages. I don't want you to get swole up like that woman. Keep them hips like you got. So they would give them drink so they wouldn't have children, but mainly it was for so that they wouldn't have no offsprings by them giants and all that sex that they was doing. You know what I'm saying? But notice the difference. STDs is going through the roof because they're puffy party. They found baby oil. They found GHP. But guess what they didn't find? Condoms. Let's get some more.
Verse 21.
Yeah.
And when the sons of men caused some of their wives to drink, Zillah drank with them. And the childbearing women appeared abominable in the sight of their husbands as widows, while their husbands lived, for they were only attached to the barren ones. And in the end of days and years, when Zillah became old, the Most High opened her womb, and she conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Tubal-Cain.
And we read the same thing in Genesis 4, Jubilees 4 and 21. Go ahead.
Saying, after I had withered away, I have obtained him from the Almighty Yahweh. And she conceived again and bore a daughter, and she called her name Naamah, for she said, after I had withered away, I have obtained pleasure and delight. And Lamech was old and advanced in years.
So now we got Lamech on the scene again. The same Lamech in Genesis. The same offspring of Cain. He's just old right now. So we're picking it up as he's older. Go ahead.
And Lamech was old and advanced in years. And his eyes were dim that he could not see. And his son Tubal-Cain was leading him. And it was one day that Lamech went into the field.
Where he go to?
Into the field.
Remember I told y'all in Genesis to remember field. Because that's what Cain and Abel talked at. Right? Let's read some more.
And Tubal-Cain, his son, was with him. And while they were walking in the field, Cain, the son of Adam.
The son of who?
Of Adam. Advanced toward them. For Lamech was very old and could not see much.
It didn't say he was blind. It say he just couldn't see much. He probably didn't have no peripheral. You know, a little cataract over this. He could see images in shadow, but he can't see clearly. Go ahead.
And his son Tubal-Cain was very young.
So a teenager possibly, or younger than that. Go ahead.
And Tubal-Cain told his father to draw his bow. And with the arrows he struck Cain, who was yet far off, and he slew him. For he appeared to them to be an animal.
So, since he killed Abel like an animal, he was killed just like an animal. He was hunted because he got him out in the field where nobody could be to him. Y'all, the field is so important to where he got killed at.
Right.
So Jasher is saying Lamech shot an arrow and killed Cain. Jubilees is saying a stone of his house fell on him. I just want y'all to keep in mind, just a stone of his house. Don't take that out of your mind, because the Bible going to explain the difference of us being in here and this house collapse on us. It's got a different language, y'all. So the contradiction will go away. And everything else is lining up in all the books, right?
Yep.
Let's read some more.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
And the arrows entered Cain's body, although he was distant from them. And he fell to the ground and died. And the Most High paid Cain's evil according to his wickedness.
According to his wickedness. Go ahead.
Which he had done to his brother Abel, according to the word of the Most High which he had spoken. And it came to pass when Cain had died, that Lamech and Tubal-Cain went to see the animal which they had slain. And they saw, and behold, their grandfather Cain was fallen dead on the earth. And Lamech was very much grieved at having done this. And in clapping his hands to God,
no, go ahead.
He struck his son and caused his death.
Hit the baby boy, hit him across the head, and hit him across the head and killed his baby son. Now go back to Genesis 4. And so you can understand what he means. I wounded a man to my own hurt, and then a young man I put to death. So now this fill in, just get that Genesis 4 real quick, Zed. Just the part 4 and 23 where it say, I killed a man of my own hurt. Wounded a man of my own hurt. So he killed him because they thought it was an animal finna attack him. So you kill something because you think you finna be killed by it. If a pit bull is growling and coming up on you, biting and snarling, and they've been feeding them gunpowder, you got to kill it.
Put him down.
But you just can't kill pit bulls because it's against the law to kill animals illegally. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You just can't go around and kill animals. Ask Mike Vick. Where you at? Read that just where they say that at. Who got it?
Genesis chapter 4, verse 23.
That's where I want, right where it says the same thing. Go ahead.
And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech.
Now, if we looking in this Jasher 2 and 35, don't that say the same thing?
Yeah.
Now go ahead, read on some more.
Hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding.
I have slain a man to my wounding. I thought it was a wild animal. Go ahead.
And a young man to my hurt.
And a young man to my hurt. My son right here with me, but until you get into Jasher, it'll never be explained. So if you don't get Jasher, you start just thinking, man, what you think that mean? I killed a man to my hurt. What that mean? What that mean? Did I have gas in it? Right. You know, I was finna point and then I broke wind and the arrow went crazy. And then a young man to my own hurt. Who is the young man? But he's explaining the situation because his wives were mad. But this is what I want y'all to understand. Punishment gonna be on you sevenfold. Whoever kills Cain. It happened to be his great grandson. So now from him, he starts it off. And then for 7 generations, they are going to die. Whoever kills Cain, the Most High say, I'm gonna put Cain down. I'm the one punished him. I want to let him go through the earth and see what it feels like to kill your brother. I want him to be tormented first so that we don't kill our brothers, y'all. And that's what we doing if we don't know the law. We kill our brothers because that's our neighbor, those who in the word. The Ku Klux Klan next door to you ain't your neighbor. He's the Ku Klux Klan. Neighbors are you who keeps this with you word for word, tamper free, no mistakes in it. You understand? That's your neighbor. Anybody do that, that's your neighbor. Anybody don't do that, that ain't your neighbor. They don't apply to nobody that's not your neighbor. A stranger can be your neighbor. They say, we love your God and we love his commandments and we willing to do that knowing who y'all are as a people. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But they get full rights. Just like if they was us, if they come up under this covenant. Like Bathsheba and Uriah the Hittite. He's in Jerusalem. He's going David bed, but he's an African married to a Hebrew woman. That don't change him. You can't go to him and then say, well, she Hebrew, she dumb. No, she don't. Those are husband rules. He still got to rule the same way over this Hebrew woman. He's her husband.
That's right.
He's always going to be the order. Father, Christ, man, then woman.
She can't usurp authority.
No, she can't usurp authority. Not because he's a different nation. No. You're married. It don't switch. If that means that, then she gonna be wearing the pants. Or like we got this thing that where women should never wear pants. That ain't in the Bible. Those were high priest underwear. They went from your waist to your thigh. Those are drawers. If men got on them, they got on skinny shorts. You know, like skinny jeans? They'll be having on skinny shorts. If they think that that's the Bible talking about pants, it says breeches.
That's it.
Those drawers you wear under the robe so you can't sweat. They're linen. You don't sweat with linen. You shouldn't. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Back in the book of Jasher, chapter 2, and we're at verse 32.
Y'all, we got about 18 minutes. Go ahead, y'all. We're going to close out. Go ahead.
And it reads.
Yeah.
And the wives of Lamech heard what Lamech had done, and they sought to kill him. And the wives of Lamech hated him from that day.
Because he killed their granddaddy. Go ahead.
Because he slew Cain and Tubal-Cain.
Uh-huh.
And the wives of Lamech separated from him, and would not listen to him in those days. And Lamech came to his wives, and he pressed them to listen to him about this matter. And he said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, O wives of Lamech. Attend to my word.
Yeah.
For now you have imagined and said that I slew a man with my wounds, and a child with my stripes, for their having done no violence. But surely know that I am old and gray-headed, and that my eyes are heavy through age. And I did this thing unknowingly. And the wives of Lamech listened to him in this matter. And they returned to him with the advice of their father Adam. But they bore no children to him from that time, knowing that Yah's anger was increasing in those days against the sons of men, to destroy them with the waters of the flood for their evil doing.
So it jumped all the way down. So at this point, whoever kills Cain, that payback gonna be sevenfold. So Lamech just killed Cain. Now it's finna start for your lineage. And his lineage kept going till Noah's ark. And they didn't get on the ark. Because that law tells you because that's what Abel prayed. He killed me, his blood was crying. Wipe his seed off of planet Earth. And they got wiped off of Earth. None of Cain's seed got on the ark. Y'all understand what I'm saying? None of his seed got on the ark because unrighteousness can't get on the ark. Not in salvation.
None of the stones of his house.
None of the stones of his house. So now we're going to get into the law of what a stone is. Y'all, we ain't got about 15 minutes. Y'all going to close out, so we're going to run this through, y'all. So also, y'all read, we also read from Josephus. He was more like we're saying a New Testament writer. He's got, y'all write this down. We're only going to write this down in homework, but y'all do the same thing. Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews. Book 1, chapter 2. It's going to say the same exact thing, but it's going to say the arrow going through. So we got to get to the laws and see how the Most High put people down, and he may say an arrow or he may be a stone.
Right.
But it's accordingly, it's just like, it say lightning is considered an arrow. Stones are on the tip of arrow. What do you think, what did Indians have on the head of the arrow? What is that made out of? Stone. See, it ain't no contradiction if you understand Bible language. He still killed him with a stone, but this says his house fell on him. So we got to see where your house falls on you, and is a house considered a person and his offspring? because it was his own house that fell on him. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So we'll get to the scripts on that. Let's get we just read real quick the law, Leviticus 26:1. Y'all, we're gonna jump around a little bit. I got the whole chapter to read, but y'all just mark this down, and we're gonna get right to the heart of the matter, y'all, so we can get to this Judges and close out. Leviticus 26. And y'all, when we talked about Jubilees, Leviticus is the law as well as Genesis. It tells us Leviticus is the law given by Moses and his priests. It's the same law that was in heaven. When you hear people say it's Moses' law, Moses ain't have no law of his own. Right. That's the Most High gave Moses those laws to tell the children of Israel. It's not Moses' law. He just was the deliverer of the same laws that Cain had. Ain't murder the same thing in Mount Sinai as the same thing in what Cain did? It's still called murder. It don't change. The laws don't change. Murder is to the point that where we say, what was that? We call that not unforgivable sin, but it's no statute of limitations for it. See how old he was? There was no statute of limitations. Lamech was Cain's great grandson, and that murder still stood, and the punishment of whoever killed Cain, because the Most High was going to eventually put Cain down. But he was giving him a chance to get back right. Notice how he's so merciful. His mercy matches his majesty. He's giving Cain time to get it right, and he still won't turn. Let's get some more. Where we at?
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 1.
Yeah, what it say?
Ye shall make you no idols nor graven image.
Right.
Neither rear you up a standing image. Neither shall you set up any image of stone in your land.
Right.
To bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your Elohim. You want all of them?
No, I just want to talk about the Jubilees. Where we at? Okay. Statute. Y'all read all Leviticus. What we're talking about in this 26, it gets into Jubilees. It's saying you should keep my Jubilees as well. That's why I had that marked down. But y'all read the whole chapter. I'll tell you what. What you have respect, others have food, I'll get that. We'll go ahead. I'll pull it up. Jubilees in Leviticus. Go ahead. So right here, y'all, we just wanted y'all to get that one. That's a law. It's going to be in there about how to count Jubilees. Now, we just need to go to Numbers 35. Numbers 35 is in the law, and it tells you about killing. So, y'all, let's understand this. When the Bible says, thou should not kill, we're not to look at that like the letter of the law, because that means you can't kill nothing.
Right.
That means you can't stomp on a roach. You know, you can't do nothing. You cannot take the life of anybody if we go by the letter of the law. All that's missing when you read the Bible says you can't kill illegally. You can't read Ecclesiastes 3 at a funeral. There's a time to die. There's a time to kill. When is it a time to kill? When a man kick in your house and say, I'm going to tie you up and rape your woman in that 9mm up there, do you say, I'm not going to kill? No. Just be gentle, sir. Or is it a time to kill? So you can't kill illegally. So when we get into Numbers 35, it's going to break down killing so that you understand what's illegal and what's self-defense. What's killing by, I didn't know, like P.O.Box, like Lamech said, he said, I killed him, but I was unaware of what I did. It's like children throwing rocks over a highway, hit your windshield, kill them. They wasn't trying to do it unless they were trying to do it. Dropping rocks off. But if you just throw them over, man, you know they say somebody, man, a rock went through their window. You like, shit, that was me throwed that. Right. That's not the same as murder. What you got, AZ, because we want to get in this Numbers 35. Go ahead. Is it 25 I want?
25, yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. It should have been 25. Leviticus 25. You know what I want. Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. Where it say the 7 years have a Sabbath?
8 through 24.
8 through 24. Yeah. See, and that's Jubilee. You read 8, 9. 25, 8, 9. And it tells you we have to count Jubilees. We have to count them. And it's listing the number. You see, I keep saying 49, and then one day makes it 50. Y'all understand what we're saying? sister, if y'all will, just kind of take inventory of what we don't need next week, if y'all will. Thank you. So that's Leviticus 25, y'all. I'm sorry. I threw us off. Verse 8 and 9. Right. And that'll get you back on the law of counting Jubilee. Y'all read that whole chapter. But let's just right now get into Numbers 35. There's something very important in here. And why we have witness protection programs. Everything is taken from the Bible. No nation have its own thought process. That's why everything you see, if it's a flood, if it's a tornado, they say of biblical proportions. Right. They're saying this ain't happened. We can read it in the Bible. They don't say of Meonetta, the Egyptian proportion. They don't say it's of Quranic proportion. Right. Ain't no prophecy in Quran or Egyptology. This is the only book that deals with prophecy. Right. The beginning, the middle, and it tells you what's going to happen to you at the end. The Quran has no judgment day. Egyptology has no judgment day. Buddhist scroll don't have no judgment day. Modern day Christianity has no judgment day. We don't read Revelations, it do what? Scare the people. Why? And when Revelation 1 say, if you read it, blessed are they that read. Yeah. So you're told in church not to read it. And it's a blessing in there because you can look for when the Most High is ready to make his second coming. How you gonna not read that? That's like telling, man, don't go down the steakhouse. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm walking down there.
Well, you keep talking about that.
Boy, that steakhouse alley was the most dangerous place on planet Earth. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. If you walk the steakhouse alley at night, boy, you got a badge of honor. Boy, people was talking about, man, he did the steakhouse alley, man, at 8:30.
That's before they fixed the light.
That's before all the lights come up and the grease was cleaned up. It's what was between them dumpsters you was worried about gonna jump out on. Yeah, the parking lot right past that. Come on, y'all, let's get this real quick. Numbers 35.
Numbers chapter.
And y'all, we're gonna close out here after we just have one more, we'll close out. We just got to do Judges, and we'll close out and get a little homework. Go ahead, what we got?
Numbers chapter 35, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord spake unto Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan, near Jericho, saying, command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of their possessions cities to dwell in. And ye shall give also unto the Levites suburbs for cities round about them.
Uh-huh.
And the city shall they have to dwell in, and the suburbs of them shall be for their cattle, and for their goods, and for all their beasts. And the suburbs of the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites shall reach from the wall of the city and outward 1,000 cubits round about.
So we have to understand this is right from the order of Aaron. Moses and Aaron is in charge of the law. They the priesthood of Aaron. It's the shadow of things to come. When the Messiah came, we went back under the order of Melchizedek. Adam was a Melchizedek priest, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all the way till we came out of Egypt until Mount Sinai. Then it switched to the order of Aaron. Same laws, just a different high priest. Christ is our high priest. If anybody reads you the law and it sounds like it's coming from Aaron, if they talking literal goats and calves, they way off, they still under Aaron. When Christ was crucified and the veil was rent and you can look behind there, that switched the order back to Melchizedek, where Christ is the one and only high priest. Mentioned in Psalms, what we read in Psalm 110 and Hebrews 7 chapter. Shalom, DJ, what's going on? Psalm 110 and Hebrews 7 say Christ will be after the order of Melchizedek. He's the high priest. Paul is talking about that priesthood. In Hebrews chapter 2 through chapter 10 is only talking about the high priest of Melchizedek. Right. It's not talking about Aaron. That's why they didn't understand when Paul say the law of circumcision of the flesh. We ain't dealing with that. Circumcise this first and then get the flesh. Mm-hmm. Y'all arguing about Timothy. He's 20 years old. The law say you should be circumcised at 8 days old. He's already 19 years, 11 months, and 22 days. Which month it is? 22 days late. He's almost 20 already. And y'all talking about what have to take place when he's 8 days old? He's already way too late if you're looking at it from the flesh. Mm-hmm. But they said his mind is right up here. He's circumcised up here and he ain't even 20 years old yet. He was like Joshua. Y'all understand? They had to do some recircumcising in the wilderness. Y'all understand that? Because the Most High wiped out a bunch of them. He said, now circumcise every child from 20 years and down. We're going to keep moving through the wilderness then. But we got to get rid of them old heads who causing problems, want to go back to Egypt. We get through. Go ahead. Y'all going to be thirsty when we get through because we're going to go back into this time.
He said we're talking in Jubilee.
Yeah, talking in Jubilee. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Y'all get me. Go ahead. Go
Somebody
ahead.
say 15 minutes is an hour.
Go ahead. See, if y'all quit talking, we can move on. Go
Everybody
ahead.
else.
Go ahead.
And ye shall measure from without the city on the east side 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits. And the city shall be in the midst. There, this shall be to them the suburbs of the city.
So the Bible's using cubits instead of inches. Well, cubic is the tip of your elbow. I mean, the elbow to the tip of the finger. Usually 18 inches. So when we're counting 18. You understand? So to get your foot count, to see how big this wall is, you do 18 times, you know, whatever it is, and then you divide it by 12, and it'll tell you how many feet it is. This is using cubics, like you got half-inch socket, or you got 14 millimeter. Same thing, ain't it? Maybe off just a bit. But we don't like mesh. How much is off?
13 and a half.
13 and a half. So y'all see, yeah, so they know the difference, but it's two different systems of measurement, right? But you know one or the other will work. So cubics is from here to there, usually 18 inches. Let's read some more.
And among the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites, there shall be 6 cities of refuge.
For what?
For refuge.
See, this is going to be witness protection program. We in our cities, it's only us, Levites. There got to be places for in case the law go wrong. Somebody have to be able to flee to a safety spot. Go ahead, read some more. And the Levites have to be there because they were the priests. They keep judgment in order. Go ahead, what else you got, Jed?
Which ye shall appoint for the manslayer.
For the who?
For the manslayer.
Who killeth a man. Go ahead.
That he may flee thither. And to them ye shall add 42 cities.
So we're talking about witness protection program. Do dirty in them is after me. They seen my name on the witness list, which these streets call the snitching list. So we got to move who do dirty after to this safety zone. So he don't kill them before court. What you got, bro?
And it clearly say manslayer.
Manslayer.
That means somebody got killed.
Somebody got killed. You may not understand it was self-defense. Junebug wasn't that damn bad. He didn't have to blow his brains out. He was just acting like he was going to rape his daughter. Okay. He wasn't going to do it.
That's a bad act.
Yeah, Let's get some more, y'all. Go ahead, verse 7.
Verse 7.
Well, we got these 8 minutes. Go ahead.
So all the cities which ye shall give to the Levites shall be 48 cities. Then shall ye give with their suburbs. And the cities which ye shall give shall be of the possession of the children of Israel. From them that have many ye shall give many. But from them that have few ye shall give few. Ye shall give few. Every one shall give of his cities unto the Levites according to their inheritance which he inherited. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye be come over Jordan into the land of Canaan, then ye shall appoint your cities to be cities of refuge for you, which the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares.
So this person can run there if he kill any person unawares. I didn't know I did that. Man, what do you mean, man? That did that? Man, I left the stove on and the gas went on, carbon monoxide got it. I don't know that, but we can't let you go because you still left that on and knew it was faulty gas. It's not murder, but somebody died behind this and it's a homicide. So we have to investigate this homicide. The death of an individual may not be murder or self-defense, but we're going to get down to it. Go ahead.
Manslaughter.
Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Yeah, a couple lawyers over there. Go ahead.
And they shall be unto the cities for a refuge from the avenger.
Who is the avenger? The avenger of death we just read, right?
Go ahead.
That the manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation and judge.
Until he get to court. Because the manslayer looking for him, man. He put my brother down. Man, miss me with all that, man. That's on my mama. They should have knew who was on the porch when he drove by. Right. Oh, okay. So we shot back and killed him doing illegal. So now you're going to put this on your mama. You're going to kill somebody. Well, we got to get him to the safety zone so he can go to court, like this just said, so he can show up in court. Go ahead, read the next verse.
And of these cities, which he shall give 6 cities, shall ye have for refuge. Ye shall give 3 cities on this side of Jordan, and 3 cities shall ye give in the land of Canaan, which shall be cities of refuge.
Right.
These 6 cities shall be a refuge both for the children of Israel and for the stranger and for the sojourner among them.
So anybody that's with us of another nation, the rules apply the same. Same as Numbers 9 chapter. One rule for Israel, one rule for the stranger joint. Ain't no 2 different set of laws. And you're dwelling with the same people. Everybody got to play by the same rules. Right. Go ahead.
That everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither.
May flee thither. Go ahead.
And if he smite him with an instrument of iron.
If he smite him, if he pistol whoop him, go ahead, or just put that iron on his head.
Right.
An axe handle. That's iron. Go ahead.
So that he died.
So that he what?
Died. He is a murderer.
What is he?
A murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death.
Ain't no safety zone for him. This is why Cain murdered his brother. He was a wanderer. Ain't no safety zone for you.
It ain't never a safety zone for him.
Let's get, so he's wandering. I can't go to no city. There's no place gonna take me in. Let's get some more.
And if he smite him with the throwing of a stone, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer, and the murderer shall surely be put to death.
Okay.
Or if he smite him with a hand weapon of wood.
A hand weapon of wood. That's a baseball bat. That's what Richard Pryor was saying. Don't go down that dark alley. It may not be the voice of God, but 2 or 3 niggas with a baseball bat. Let's read some more, bro. Go ahead.
Wherewith he may die.
Yeah.
And he died. He is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death.
So murder is the shedding of innocent blood. We're waiting to kill you. We know you got paid today. I'm high. As soon as you come out of that check cashing place, counting, I'm going to hit you in the head with a piece of wood, and I'm going to flatten your pockets. Go ahead. What else to say?
The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer.
Who going to slay the murderer?
The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. But if he thrust him of hatred or hurl at him by laying of weight, that he dies.
So if he thrust of him a hatred, player hate. I just don't like that Negro. I can't stand that Negro. Man, I'm gonna put something on him. Hatred, player hate. Go ahead.
Or in enmity, smite him with his hand.
Or enmity, mutual hatred. Go ahead.
Or in enmity that he smite him with his hand, that he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him.
See, and this is what Cain was worried about. Whoever meet me gonna kill me. The revenger is out there. Right. Let's get some more.
But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity.
Without what?
Without enmity. Or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight.
Anything without hiding in bushes. Go ahead.
Or with any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him, that he died, and was not his enemy.
And it was not his enemy. So we seeing a stone fell off, killed somebody. It wasn't his enemy. Wasn't no player hating. Go ahead.
Neither sought his home.
Neither sought his home.
Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judges.
We just gonna read that down to verse 30.
And that's crazy because that's just like how they try to find your motive for doing what you did. It's the same thing.
See, that's why they put Darren Wilson in hide what happened to Mike Brown. We got to get him away. The avenger of death is out there. Them protesters. We want his blood. We want the Red Devil Wilson. It's the protest, y'all, that they saying they finna get crazy. So they have to move them to their safety zone. They had to do all them boys that beat Rodney King. They had to move George Floyd people to the safety zone or the protesters was going to get them. They can't patrol regularly. The one that killed the boy, when he say, I got my CCW and he went to reach for the police shot him. Right. They was from here actually. Philando Castro.
Yeah.
They told that police, you got to get out of Minnesota. You can't never live here again. You got to go. There's no way we can protect you. You shot him like that. You panicking like that. You scared? How are all police scared and firemen run into buildings with fire? Now you got a pistol, you got mace, and you got a taser, and you scared and hear a roaring fire going, and they say it's a baby in there. He take off running with nothing but an axe. And you never hear nobody say, or the fireman say, I was scared of them, and he had his axe like this, so I had to chop him down. If you're that scared, you need to go to church. You need to get out of that police uniform. How do you have all this on and you scared?
And what does that mean, Dan?
It means like Superman. He'll take all the bullets right here, and when you run out of bullets and you throw the pistol and heat up. What, he don't want a headshot from that iron?
No, that iron hurt.
What you got, bro?
And what does that mean? Bust his head to the Golgotha.
That means Golgotha means the place of the skull. So when you say, I bust his head to the white meat, the Bible says it's Golgotha. It's called the place of the skull. So I bust that Negro head to the Golgotha. People who understand Bible will understand what we saying. They're like, okay, right, bro, I feel you on that one. Go ahead, let's finish this up. Y'all got to get out of here.
Verse 25.
Yes, sir.
And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood. And the congregation shall restore him to the cities of his refuge, whether he was fled, and he shall abide in it until the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil. So anybody that kills somebody have to stay there until the administration changed. So look, Moses killed an Egyptian and hid him in the sand. Was that murder? Or was that he protecting an Israelite was running to him? This Hamite, an African, had went in his house, tied his woman up, raped her before him, and was going to kill him. And he ran to Moses when Moses was still working for Pharaoh. And he said, he came to my house, shalom, y'all. And he said, he threatened to kill me. And Moses said, he did what? And it didn't say Moses murdered him. It said Moses slayed him and hid him in the sand. And then 2 more Israelites that was fighting Moses broke them up. They say, oh, you going to kill us like you did the Egyptian? Moses said, oh, y'all know about this thing. And Moses had to flee because Pharaoh then put a hit on him. Moses fled for 40 years, was in Midian where he met his wife Zipporah. Then he came back after Pharaoh was dead. Moses came back when he was 80. He left at 40, he came back at 80. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The administration was dead. So they don't remember that crime back there. They ain't ready to charge him with nothing. And the Lord didn't charge him with murder because he came to the rescue of his brother. We can kill under them circumstances. If you see a maniac strangling a sister down or a brother and he hollers, I'm about to go. You got to get on him. If you there to get him off of it, you have to do something. But the ones that killed George Floyd, all his henchmen was like this, back up. Back up, let him put that knee on him. He need that knee a little bit longer. We still hearing him breathing. Put that knee on him. And he was grinding that knee like, die. What you got there, L9? Yeah, he shot 2 undercover cops, yeah. They didn't charge Tupac though. Because they got out messing with him and didn't identify themselves. Go ahead. Let's finish this, y'all. Verse 30 we get down to. Go ahead, bro. You at 19? No, I'm on 26.
Oh, you see that? I was just seeing where you was at. Go ahead.
But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whether he was fled, and the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood. So if you come out of witness protection program and you get got by do dirty now, it ain't on them because you were supposed to stay here. You know how people get run out of St. Louis and then they'll sneak back in on their mama's birthday?
and get killed trying to get back out because the avenger knew you was here. You left your safety zone. You got to put a bus ticket or a plane ticket for mama to come and see you. You can't leave that safety zone. You come back in here creeping in the middle of the night and, it's me, mama, it's me. And he say, it's me, player, the slayer. It's going to be trouble as soon as mama open up the door. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Let's finish this, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge.
What should he have done?
Remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession.
The place of refuge for when the Messiah, when Herod was killing all the children 2 years and under, they fled to Egypt. And when Herod died, then they came back. Let's read some more down to verse 30. Y'all, we're going to call this.
Verse 29.
We'll give out a little homework. Go ahead.
So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die.
So y'all read the rest of that, but y'all see one witness. We had to play by two witnesses. So everything we was doing today was by two witnesses of the law. And this is by the law. You can't put them to death. The woman that they caught we caught her in the very act of adultery to the Messiah. And they say he just stooped down and started writing in the dirt. The law said in Deuteronomy 22, if you catch a man and a woman committing adultery, because it means woman that break wedlock, if the man get with a married woman, then he breaks the wedlock of that couple. Y'all understand? That's what King David did to Uriah and Bathsheba. He broke wedlock for them as well. But it says if that happened, if you break wedlock, these type of things will come on you, but they're according to the law. If you break wedlock, this is what's going to happen. Deuteronomy say, if you catch a man and a woman together, you shall put both of them to death. They told the Messiah, we caught her in the very act. Where's the man then? If you caught her, you caught him. Her legs weren't pointing toward the ceiling and wasn't nobody there. So you caught both of them, as you say. The man that was ready to stone her, if the Messiah said, well, kill her then, he liked this too. But when he started writing in the sand, he like, let him without sin cast the first stone. Because all y'all in error. Y'all got one witness. Y'all got half the party that y'all accused. And he told her, go and do what?
Sin no more.
He didn't punish her. He said, you sinned, they caught you. But I'm one witness. I can't put you to death. That's what they trying to do. See if I'm going to break the law. But Christ said, I'm the walking law. I broke no law. There's not one law in the Bible that Christ broke. So we can do it. It's just what we don't want to do because of our lust. Man, I have to get that up. Man, that's just so wickedly sweet, though, dog. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So that's what it means. You can't put nobody to death. So Christ never broke law. He like, go and sin no more. It may not be like this for you the next time. You escape judgment because we don't have two witnesses. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We're going to close on out of here, y'all. This is just homework. Real quick. Because we had to do how this ain't gonna but 2 verses. It's Judges, so we have to clear up Judges. Real quick, we just gonna read these real quick ones, and then I'm gonna give you the homework, and we're gonna close out for sure, y'all. Go to the book of Judges, 9th chapter, and we're gonna see about house and stone. So this gonna clear up what fell on Cain. That it looked like it never said somebody threw a stone on him, did it? It said his house fell on him in the midst of everything. Well, where's your children? Where's your offspring? And you're out in the field. Your house is out in the field. Where did the arrow go to? Because Jubilees still say the field. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Either his house was in the field and it collapsed on him, or the house means something else and the stone. Because stones about the altar. When you build stones, and if you give a bad inheritance, then that altar, that stone, all your offspring are bad. So what I'm saying, offerings to the Lord. That's why a rotten tree can't bear fruit. Satan can't build an altar now. He threw. He got the death penalty. So what he does is try to get you to get the death penalty. So he have company. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So Judges, real quick. Judges 9, but I want you to read, so we know who this is talking about. Just read 8, 30, and 31. Real quick so we know this. This is about Gideon, a warrior. Gideon was a warrior, y'all, for Israel. And he had a bunch of sons. Go ahead, what does it say right there? 8 and 30. Then we just going to touch 2 verses in 9. Go ahead.
Judges chapter 8, verse 30.
What does it say?
And Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten. For he had many wives.
So he had 70 sons. A score is 20. 3 score makes 60, and 10 makes 70. This one individual, Gideon, had 70 sons, but he had a lot of wives. One of his sons, as y'all keep reading through this chapter 8, you'll see that in verse
31.
31, you'll see that, one of those children was by a side woman. See, multiple wives was just what we're saying, multiple wives. They were not chicks on the side. It was not wifey. These were marriages. David, everyone Solomon had, there was a marriage and there was a ceremony. It just ain't women on the side. If you just got women on the side, you think the Bible's saying you can fornicate or you can do with a woman on the side, then you bring that to the original established marriage. That's what he's saying. You can't have no fornication. Like we married to our God, we can't go mess around with Buddha. We can't go mess around with Allah, a chick on the side, and then come back home to this righteousness. We're going to bring the STD back to this righteousness, and we're talking about that. So a man, the only way a man could have more than one wife, he had to be able to take care of her. Everything this one got, that one has to have. And they have to live in separate houses because they all come on their ministration at the same time. So the house is unclean for 7 days, and you got all these women stacked in there. You got big cat country. That's all I'm going to say. Ain't going to go no deeper. So let's go. Where we at?
Verse 31.
Yeah.
And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son, whose name he called Abimelech.
So Abimelech is the son of him that when we get it, I'm just going to get in 9 real quick. Go ahead. Y'all read 1 through 9 of same Judges. Y'all read 1 through 9. Because it's going to talk about them same 70 sons, but it's going to talk about Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem unto his mother's brethren, and communed with them and with all the family of the house of his mother's father. So remember the house of it, it's including everybody, them 70 sons. But just get down to verse 5. Y'all read 1 through 5 of Judges 9. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And he went into his father's house at Ophrah, and slew his brethren, the sons of Jerubbaal.
So we just read that in verse 1. Go ahead.
Being 70 persons. Upon one stone.
Upon one what?
Stone. Notwithstanding yet Jotham, the youngest son of Jerubbaal, was left, for he hid himself.
So the stone, what does that stone mean in here? And you got 90 brother, and you're being killed by the outside boy. You killing the whole household. So Cain was killed by a stone, so to speak, by his own household. That was the house of Cain that fell upon him and killed him. Jubilees ain't saying nothing different. It's following all the way through. It's just telling you his own family line killed him. So the punishment of whoever killed Cain, it was the stone of his own household. It was from that bad altar that he had built. There's no other way for you to find what does this stone mean unless he had the spirit on him like Samson and he was killing everybody with the jawbone of an axe. It don't say that because this is a wicked man.
His own house.
His own household. He was, when you keep reading, he was the outside boy. So
but he's
Gideon,
still of that man. He's still of the same father.
So a righteous man, Gideon, died with no children left by this one outside individual, by the gal on the side. Killed all the other brothers, had the same daddy, but a different mama. Killed all of them, the outside boy. His house fell on him, technically, so to speak. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So your house is gone. Satan did the same thing when his house fell on Job's children. Satan did that. His house said, your children. The house fell on them. The wind came from the north. You know it ain't God bringing the wind, so it's Satan. It's the same wind Satan could cause up a storm. When the Messiah had to stand up and say, Stop it! And the storm quit. And the disciples looking, what kind of man is this? He tell the storm to stop. So y'all understand what we said? So we're reading the Bible in its own language so you understand. But y'all read all of that Judges 9, especially 5 through 16, and then y'all jump down to 24. Verse 24, that the cruelty done to the 70 men, sons of Jerubbaal, might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech, their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brother. So y'all see how the revenge, he took the house with a stone. Or somebody got to come up with this Judges 9 and 5, what that stone is.
What is that stone?
You need that stone. You understand? David, everybody say he killed Goliath with the slingshot. That didn't kill him. He threw it and it hit him in the head and it sunk in his head. It knocked his equilibrium out, like somebody hit you in the temple and he fell face first. While he was knocked out and unconscious, then David went up and grabbed his sword, then he cut his head off and held it up.
That's what killed it.
That's what killed it. Y'all understand? But we think it was the slingshot. No, David was a learned sniper because we didn't have snipers back then. It was the slingshot. They go out first. They hide in positions, and when they see somebody, they could throw that slingshot and split two by a hair down. Well, he ain't got no hair, but split his head down the middle. Down the middle, and he'd be looking like that split top butter bread. Right down the middle. That's how good they were. And it was the tribe of Benjamin that was the snipers. We used to send them out first, and they would clear the air, and then our soldiers run in, Judah, Simeon, and Levi, and they was doing close quarter then. Like Shechem and Levi took all Levi and Simeon took all them Hamites out, close quarter. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Hand to hand, but now we got distance weapons, called a pistol. But the law say if you shoot them outside of 20 feet, they wasn't a threat. Yeah. You gonna be in the back of that police car. You have to let them get up to be a threat inside of 20 feet. 19 feet, 11 inches is good.
Or if he's fleeing.
Or if he's fleeing, you can't shoot him in the back. You can't shoot him in your car. None of that. Y'all understand what we saying? So the laws keep us, and bro, that's what keep us living day to day. Following the laws. Keeping the commandments. That you got to do till you dead. It's things going to happen to us when we get 70. The law going to explain it to you. When your knees are weak like that, this is what you're going to have to do. A young man don't know nothing about that. That's why I say Moses was 120 years old and his eyes were still 20/20 and his strength was not a baby. Where's his strength come from? So he could have a baby. So y'all, we're going to close on out of here. Here's a little homework so we understand these things. Y'all, once again, read all that Judges 9. Just read the whole chapter. Vagabond being in a positive light. Proverbs 28:17. Psalm 109 and 10. Hebrews 11 and 8. This is going to talk about when you get sent out like Abraham, we were sent to land. We vagabonds over here, y'all, in America. We're American citizens, but if you get down to our tribal origin, we Israelites of the tribe of Judah. Like Paul said in Romans 11, I'm an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. Yes, I'm a Roman citizen. I'm not a Roman. I'm just an Israelite in Rome. Rome running the show. America runs the show. We just they servants. So y'all got that, and then we get Hebrews 11:8, Acts 28. 1 through 7. And this is when Paul was on a ship going to the island, and the ship started going crazy. It broke up and it fell apart, and they had to swim in. So the people at the land saying they got to be murderers because murder is chasing them. The boat crashed, they almost drowned, and then we had to put them on the land. And then when Paul went and was getting firewood, this Acts 28, a serpent bit him on his hand, a viper, and he just shook it off. And they said he gonna be dead in 30 seconds. And when Paul kept working, they said he's a murderer. Look, the sea couldn't get him, but the snake just got him. The Lord is killing him. He's a murderer. And when Paul shook it off and kept doing firewood, they say, oh, this man is a god. Man, you must be Jupiter. He said, man, come on with that, all that stuff. Man, it's just the Holy Spirit of the Lord. He told me in Mark 16 chapter, know these things shall follow you if you keep the law. Any poison thing, if you drink it, it ain't going to hurt you. If you do this, it ain't going to hurt you. We back to Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against us should do what? Prosper. Shall prosper. That's all he tells me. That snake bite me ain't going to prosper because the spirit is on me. The venom don't work. Now, this don't mean do what them doctrine of Pentecostals do that made up their religion, and they dancing with snakes, and they doing like, you can't tempt the Lord with evil. And they dancing like this, and that snake bite, pow, there you go, in ambulance. Gone, dead. You cannot tempt the Lord. I believe the Lord is with me everywhere. I'm going to walk out on Highway 70, right there across from the Golden Pancake House, where the traffic is thick. I'm going to walk straight through. You can go ahead and try it if you want to.
You're going to learn today.
But we're going to find out what human roadkill is when they be scraping you up. Y'all, we're going to close on out of here. What time is it? 5:05, okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get on out of here. And y'all, look. Y'all also read this two about this last one. Wisdom of Solomon 11 is going to tell you ways of punishment. He'll send beasts to punish you. And 1 John 3:8-16 said, don't be like Cain, who slew his brother, who was from that wicked one.
What was the one right before that, John?
Wisdom of Solomon, the whole 11th chapter. Y'all, how we pray, we do everything in order according to the Bible. 1 Corinthians 11, 1 Kings 8. And anybody got a hat, you got to just remove your hat. Boy, just because we're in an assembly. Just because we're in an assembly, when we praying and prophesying, we just turn toward Jerusalem. As it's written in the scripture, 1 Kings 8, Jerusalem is that way. We just happen to be in the west, we turn toward the east. If we was in Russia, we turn toward the south, because they're north of Israel. So go ahead, bro.
All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer. Yeah. And it is with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer.
Yes, sir.
Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yes, sir.
But we know him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms. In the 39th chapter, it reads, I said, I will take heed to my ways.
Yes, sir.
That I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle.
Yes, sir.
While the wicked is before me. I was dumb with silence. I held my peace.
Yes, sir.
Even from good. And my sorrow was stirred. My heart was hot within me.
Yes, sir.
While I was musing, the fire burned. Then spake I with my tongue. Master, make me to know mine end.
Yes, sir.
And the measure of my days. What it is that I may know how frail I am.
That's right.
Behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth. And mine age is as nothing before thee.
Yes, sir.
Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Selah.
Selah.
Surely every man walketh in a vain show. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heapeth up riches, and knoweth not who shall gather them. And now, Yahweh, what wait I for? My hope is in thee.
Yes, sir.
Deliver me from all my transgressions.
Yes, sir.
Make me not the reproach of the foolish.
Yeah.
I was dumb. I opened not my mouth, because thou didst it. Remove thy stroke away from me.
Yes, sir.
I am consumed by the blow of thine hand. When thou with rebukes dost correct man for iniquity, thou makest his beauty to consume away like a moth.
Yes, sir.
Surely every man is vanity. Selah.
Selah.
Hear my prayer, O Yahweh, and give ear unto my cry. Hold not thy peace at my tears, for I am a stranger with thee, and a sojourner as all my fathers were.
Yes, sir.
Oh, spare me, that I may recover strength before I go hence and be no more. Hallelujah! Selah!
Y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate it. Also, bro, I just wanted to let y'all know you can't sin in your sleep either, because that's your consciousness. If you, Beyonce, walk in the room with you and y'all do something, that's Jay-Z's wife. As a man thinketh, so if he. Deuteronomy 23:10 say, if a man have a wet dream, he have to cleanse himself, just like Leviticus 15. So that's supernatural, that it goes off and there's no friction. It's just a thought process. Can you do that now? No, I'm just messing with you. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You can't sin in your sleep either. You can't go to bed dreaming about something you can't. Yeah. So the laws are even for when you sleep, because if you think about it, you're going to find yourself making your way to that event, so you can try to do it in your flesh.
I be having a scripture reading that night.
You better Y'all looking like me now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, brother?